Ready to call the meeting to order? At 10:34. So, agenda for today is the, first March application interviews. We have, everybody should have the list of 26, 27 interview order, 11 different applicants for today, and the first one online, is that?
Yep.
You got a good start online, all right?
We've got Joe online.
Welcome, Joe.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I had to re-log back on if you were looking for me because I had a Zoom meeting earlier. I think it kept going back to it. So you can see me okay and hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're fine.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So we're gonna,
Which one first? Yeah, which one
yeah,
first?
which one of the three are you doing first?
Let's start with the Stormy Weather Arts. If we can.
Okay, great.
This is an event that we work with the Cannon Beach Chamber of Commerce on, supporting them since we're a major part of the event over the years. Part of the a little bit of a history is that at one point the brochure they were putting out just wasn't up to snuff for what we wanted to be represented from the gallery since we were a major part of it. So we've given them a donation every year that goes towards the whatever is put out as far as the actual event goes, the programming. And then basically the other part of our ask for that is for the advertising that we do throughout the year, where we include the event on all our advertising when we advertise the galleries.
Does anybody have any questions specific for Joe?
I kind of do. I feel like I'm always annoying.
So go ahead, Michelle.
I'm sorry. I appreciate, and I think you guys work really hard, et cetera, et cetera. I'm trying to understand, I've asked a couple of people, I don't really totally understand this nonprofit that's for-profit galleries. And then asking for public funds, yet there's still a paywall to, be involved in the gallery group. So you technically can't afford to do the advertising yourself, so you're asking for public funding, yet let the being part of the gallery group has a huge paywall. So it just, I just find, I don't understand. What I'm saying. And I just want
Okay.
to explain pass around.
Well, I think if we take a step back, I was looking for some notes that I had. Basically, the point of the whole TAF award is to basically bringing in overnight guests and increasing the art presence of the town, if you read the ordinance. So
Yeah.
that being the case, this nonprofit was formed by each of the groups paying into the nonprofit to support that nonprofit, which then is able to do what is requested within the TAF funding. So for us, we are doing exactly what the purpose of the Tourism and Arts Commission. So from that respect, the TAF resources are used for personnel, special events, signage, attractions, owner-occupied facility development, promotional materials, advertising, which furthers tourism. So the group could disband and try to do it initially, but we just feel that we put in the time and pay our $650 a year each gallery to support the city and to support the commission. So I hope that answers your question, how the two work together.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, I think you do a good job getting heads and beds, for real, I see the difference and stuff, but I just was like, I just don't understand that. Nonprofit for profit groups and. And I don't know, but I was just seriously just asking, I'm trying to understand and ask a few people I don't understand. But not saying that it's not totally doable, just, it just seems like, oh, it goes with the flow always, and I just wanted to ask the question. So,
Well, if it wasn't for the nonprofit, then we wouldn't have this event. And then then we wouldn't be, we wouldn't be supporting the town, supporting the arts, bringing in overnight. I mean, we had a number of customers, they come in town for stormy weather and spring unveiling. They
yes,
come in from Indiana. So, we have people coming, and because the longevity of these, because there was the foresight of the people who put this nonprofit together, it allowed them it allows us to have people come routinely every year. So I think the fact that the nonprofit was formed so we could officially do what the commission was set up to do. It's not, it individually, we're not, we're spending time that we don't get compensated for. Do we want to increase our business? Yes, but we could do this event on our own and do it as individual galleries, and we wouldn't be that collectiveness to support the city.
yeah, okay, I understand.
Joe, I have one quick question on the second to the last page, under
Yes.
budget. I assume that, I'm just looking at the headers of your two columns. I assume that the one on the left is a budget, and then on the right is the actual and the year to date so far. Back when Stormy Weather Arts Festival
Yes.
2025.
Yes.
Okay,
But it's the one side's the budget and the actual, is that what?
The other one was actual from last year, correct. So that was the actual from last year, and these
On
are
the
updated
right.
numbers, yes.
and the memberships,
The membership, we've moved some of that into another one to try to even out the ask, because
gotcha.
we've lost one gallery closed recently. And then also we're seeing some other costs, so we're trying to balance out what we can do.
Okay, again, against the.
So we actually moved some of the membership, we're trying to help wherever we can to try to do it.
Okay,
So Joe, this seems to be a sort of a common problem with almost everybody that's applying here. So I'd like to suggest, especially when you do midterms, and I'll probably suggest this to everybody else too, if you could fairly clearly label those columns, it would make life a lot easier for all of us.
Okay, yeah, yes, sir. I'll do that.
Thank you.
I have a question about the cost for the event brochure. So I'm on the chamber side of the Stormy Weather Arts Festival. I'm on that committee. And so this event brochure is specifically just for the gallery group and is not connected to the one that the chamber would put out. Is that correct? So there will be two separate brochures essentially.
Yes, if they do it, if they do one, then they utilize us, not them. It depends on what I talked to Jim yesterday. He knows, in the past, we've always done the brochure is what they earmark the funds that we're giving to them for that. So we talked to them. I mean, last year they were able to have 18,000, I think, printed for stormy weather based on the quote. I know the Gazette is now gone, but they have a proposal in to it. So Jim is aware of this, so it should be on his as well.
So we're giving money to you to do the brochure. If there's an ask in the chamber one, is that double? Or I guess I'm a little confused as to what if there's one or two brochures.
There's,
Maybe maybe.
in the past, there used to be two brochures because
Okay.
the chamber did one and they worked with one on the Gazette. The one they were doing was inferior, and that's why we've started giving them. With the Gazette being gone, we're not quite sure what's going to happen this year. I talked to Jim yesterday about this, so
Okay.
I'm sure he'll address it later.
Okay, gotcha.
But our goal is just, we're supporting them because it's the Stormy Weather Arts Festival, and we're a major part of that. We all have events to bring in people uh, into town and into the galleries. And so we wanted to make sure, especially if you're going to have an art, that there's a sort of aesthetic. And several years back, the aesthetic was not being accomplished. And so we sort of said, okay, if we're going to ask it, then we'll help you donate.
So Joe, the 26 has been almost similar to, last year, previous years. My question is, as a group, I know every individual gallery is a little bit different, but as a group, how do you define success for the Stormy Weather Art Festival?
We define it in several ways. One, we all sort of, we don't do it strictly on a detailed basis, but we're all pretty much, asking our clients who are new, where are they coming from, as we're talking to them. Like, as I said, we see people that, we see them once or twice a year, and it happens to be those 2 weekends. We have one 2 or 3 couples that came in, one from Indiana, a couple from Colorado that I was talking to, and they're like, yeah, we look forward to these 2 events. So for us, the success is our sales, but also, in talking to our client base. I will show you the one event that we really do run, is spring unveiling, where we are doing passports to giving gift certificates out, and we're gleaning information from that. Unfortunately, I don't have it all in a Excel spreadsheet yet. But when we get to that, we'll show you what we're doing to collect further information. And next year, we're going to put on there overnight stays as another, because it's a living document. It's one that we started about 2 or 3 years ago, and as we're doing it each year, we're improving on it. So actually, last year, this group asked me, not to have, I didn't have one available to share. If you look in the packet for spring unveiling, there is one this year. So, and that's even going to be modified for next year already.
Good, no, thank you. Anybody have any other questions specific to Stormy Weather Arts? Okay.
Okay. Spring unveiling would be next. When I put forth the application, we had not met to formally set a date. We have now set a date, so I'd like to modify the document if I may, please. Greg, it would be May 7th through the 9th. Will be next year's spring unveiling. Also, we had it on a previous one, but somewhere it dropped off. You'll see the passport. I put in the passport, just so everybody is aware. On the passport, hold on here, get the number. In 2024, the first time we really did it, we collected 43. 34 of them were fully stamped. In 2025, we collected 92 and 84 were fully stamped. And in 2026, we collected 163 with 144 fully stamped.
Wow,
So we did increase the gift certificates. But, you know, and that comes out of the gallery group, not this money. And basically, we just feel that this measurements, now, I'm hoping to have, we collect addresses and email addresses on there. What we are going to do for next year is I noticed that what had gotten dropped off was the information that this is a TAC event, so that will be on for next year. I've already talked to the two chairs about that. Randall Hodges and Jeff Hull are the two chairs for that committee, our spring unveiling committee. They do a great job with this. The goal is that each gallery has a different color stamp, so we want to make sure that we're moving people all the way through town. So if they're down by seeing House of Orange, they're across from Pelican Brewery. So I mean, it's a way we're trying to move people around town as well. So the two changes for next year on this to improve, we are constantly looking at ways to improve. Number one, we will include the TAF verbiage, TAF funding verbiage, and underneath the email address, we're going to put overnight stay, yes or no. So we're hoping to, you know, again, we're trying to improve each time we do this event. And this year we felt it was pretty successful. We had people again from out of town in the galleries, and well done.
Yeah, I would just comment on that. That's kind of why I asked the previous question. It felt that this year was extremely successful in terms of people around. Maybe it was the weather too, it was a pretty nice weekend. But it
Yes.
was, you know, the advanced reservations, meaning people are planning to come for that. People rebooking for next year. In fact, we had to call and find out what the date was because it wasn't really known at the time. I mean, it feels like people are, you know, making it an annual thing. And obviously, they're around all the time, so that's good.
I was gonna echo that, because I noticed a big uptick. Who knows if it was the weather, but it was specifically people looking at galleries, like, I really noticed it
Yeah.
this year.
Oh, so I was gonna ask Michelle, how did you do this year with this weekend? Was it a good weekend?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just noticed there's a lot more traffic, but, you know, I was doing my own thing, so.
Well, it's sort of interesting. I would rather not the weather be so perfect. Because for
Yeah.
me, then everybody's at that big piece of water and that dirt rather than being in the galleries. So for me, you know, I'd like to have sun until about 1 o'clock, downpours till 4, and then after 4, the sun come out. That would be perfect for me. So we're still working on the rain dance at 1 o'clock, but
Yeah.
not there yet.
I was specifically asking people if they were here, because I mean, if they were here for that weather, so. And a good chunk of them were like, surprised it's happening, but a good chunk were here for it. They were like, oh, we love this, so.
And I kind of got the
Picking
same
that on.
impression, because I asked a lot of people if they were here for it, and it felt like maybe post-COVID 21, 22 it was kind of a little lull.
Yeah,
And then these last couple of years, it definitely feels like more destination, more than that, you know, so.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, Greg, is our sales are up this year, and I think what you're seeing, and I do some consulting outside of the art world, but I think what you're seeing is this year I think most people are certain about the uncertainty. You know, last year there was a lot more uncertainty. This year we know there's going to be uncertain, so we're just aware of it more. And I just see people spending a little bit more money this year in traveling, even though gas is going up. Gas is going up is not bad for Cannon Beach because people come close. They won't be flying or going places, so it's actually higher gas prices is not that bad for Cannon Beach. Because it means it's a lot more expensive to travel by plane in other areas. So actually, this should be a decent year for Cannon Beach.
and your cameras went down. Dead. Sorry.
The eyeballs are.
Yeah, they
blinking,
just did something and then the eyeballs are blinking.
But the voice isn't coming.
Yes,
So they're not blinking.
Joe, can you say something? Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear. Was there a question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Off for like a second. This is really hard without Christina. We're gonna keep our hands fast.
Joe, and not, this is just a nitpick, but the ask I saw was for 15,000, but on your 2027 budget, it under that word, it's 15,500. Just so I assume that the 15 is correct, but.
Let's see here.
Sorry, third page from the back. Or third page in.
Yeah, we have the ask as. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, I had put down 15,500, and then when I did the 15, I think the 15 was an error, but as I said, that's
Okay,
we still, I can find the other 500 if I needed to. If it's 15, I can find the 500. So 15 is what we're requesting.
okay.
I can
Thank you.
update that. I can update that if you would like me to. I can update I can update the budget to reflect the 15 and go from there if you want me to, going forward.
Yeah, it's on page 146 and 225 in our packet. But it would just make sense to have them
Yeah.
equal.
Okay, I will update it to 15 and then send it over to you then.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, any other questions about the spring and valley? Okay, then we have
Yeah,
the.
year-round
Yep.
marketing. Yeah, we used to do a lot of the year-round marketing. Going back in time, we had an individual, Bonnie Gilchrist, who did all this work. And then over the years, the gallery group tried to pick it up, and we don't have the bandwidth for it, and we feel it's important. So we keep refining it every year. Basically, what this does is this helps the gallery group. It supports the gallery group, which in turn is putting on the events and working towards the other events being successful within the context of the group. So we just decided to be transparent several years ago, and we've transferred it out of the individual events and moved it into its own space. And so basically what we do here is this is part of our move to more digital or digital support services for the galleries as they provide support to the groups themselves to do what we can to bring overnight visitors and also to promote arts within the city. We have, go ahead.
So is this an individual that you hire or is it contracted out piecemeal?
It's a combination. In the past, we had used Gary. Currently we're using Sierra Spindler as our project manager on facilitating these type of efforts on our behalf. As I said in the past, Bonnie Gilchrist did it. We also had hired certain people in the past to do it from an event coordinator, but we really need someone more on the digital side. So again, our goal is to benefit the overnight tourist as well as the arts.
Can you tell me what the difference is between the social marketing services and the content creation?
Part of the content creation ends up being some of the work that we do for like postcards or different, different events that we do. The postcards for spring unveiling, some of the design work we put in there. So we try to keep what we're trying to also do is since we're promoting these events, we want to keep the events and the digital content consistent. So sometimes, some of the expenses go in both categories, not the same expense, but different types of the expense. So a lot of our advertising, a lot of the digital promotion for the content creation that could have been done during the actual getting prepared for the event, promoting the event.
Then social marketing services, is that just social media or is that anything, was it, what is that? person do?
Those could be reels, they could be Instagram, they could be any different things. Like we'll have Sierra come in and get some videos and put those on, supporting and showing what the artists are bringing to thereby bring in people wanting to come to the event, like spring unveiling.
You're doing that all year round?
I'm sorry?
You're doing that all year round, not just for the two events?
It's mostly for the two events. Because the events are spread out, that's why we call it year-round marketing. It's, we're trying to, we're constantly trying to promote the galleries, but it's keyed on those two events. So it's a combination, I guess.
And is it paid social media boosting or is it something else?
I think that's what that is. Yes.
Boosting.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That seems like a lot of money for boosting, but. Okay.
I can give further breakdown. As I said, it's pretty on par with what we've done in previous years. I thought it was $300 a boost, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's a lot. Mhm.
Well, again, we're promoting each gallery. That's what we're trying to increase the amount of, I mean, if we just were to promote the group individually and only do one, that one boost may not accomplish it. So, I'm a fan of, we do our own Bronze Coast. I have my own advertising budget for Bronze Coast. So, for me, the more you advertise, the better. And I use Coke. Coke spends a gazillion dollars in advertising. Do they need to? Does no one know what a Coke is? But, I've always been and have always had advertising budgets, and I just think anytime you can get in front of somebody, you have a chance that one more person shows up at an event. So
They would like to see actual year-round advertising and not, I'm not trying to tell you what to do or anything, but, because it says year-round, but instead of just like right around the events, oh, hey, not during events, hey, remember Cannon Beach where we represent like the arts, etc. And it seems like, so I'm pretty aware of the Instagram, it's just, there's a bunch of a big drop right around the event. And then it's just, there's not a lot throughout the rest of the year. So I would maybe suggest that for the future.
yeah, I'll make a note of that. I'll make a note of that.
That's yours.
I will say what's interesting is all the galleries, each of themselves, we send out daily emails that have nothing to do with the TAF funding, and not daily, excuse me, we send out 2 a week. And we'll start 6 months ahead talking about the event. So it's sort of interesting how not only do we have this, but you also have the individual galleries on their own promoting that event. So, which
I
is
think
good.
that's kind of over my point of like, this is public funding, and it would be like, hey, by the way, not just, oh, this gallery, this gallery, this gallery, this gallery, but like, hey, why don't we come hang out in this arts town? And that's like kind of what my point being, is that this is public funding for, I mean, I know it's for.
Well, I think if all the other businesses did form a nonprofit and could do this, you know, if the candy had a group, if the
I'm talking
hotels had a
about,
group. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're promoting the arts because that's part of what's in here is the arts. And so for us, yeah, I mean, we're donating the time that we spend, the time I'm sitting here. I mean, there is time on behalf of the city that's going on during this process. So, you know, it's not 100%, it's not at all, you know, just somebody giving us the money. We're using the money, but we're also doing things with it that's promoting this town. So,
yeah, I'm not
uh,
criticizing, saying like, as a whole, like, it would be nice just to be like, oh, we're using the public funding to promote the arts completely, and that can't teach, and I get it, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying, especially with like social media and it just being just around the events, et cetera, and.
well, I would say we use the social media, yes, around the events. But our print advertising, which is still strong with a lot of the age group I mean, the good and the bad about the gallery group is that it spans a lot of different age groups and different client bases. And there's still a number of people like myself who have a lot of gray hair who love paper and print. So the fact that we also gear ourselves to that, you know, we try to do both pretty well because again, we advertise year round and we're promoting the events year round.
I didn't see anything in here for last year's, but, and for this year's ask, do you have data or statistics on the reach of all the digital media outreach? I mean, the posts, the reels, the Instagram, all the things that you do, is there some snapshot of how far that is working?
Um, yeah, I don't have that today, Greg, to be honest. I, um,
And I'm sure that's.
let me
something like
see,
your-
let me see if I can find some information.
Yeah, it's the analytics behind it, because that's the first thing you do, is you pay $3,000 for a boost. You go on for per boost, $300, whatever it is. You wanna see that, you get an ROI on that, and what is it, and,
Yeah,
you know, it's hard to quantify, but that at least gives you some idea.
okay. And I'm just chuckling a little bit because I mean, you know, they have those ones where, you know, they can follow everybody around, but then they follow by phone number. Well, I have a Detroit phone number from Michigan because that's where my phone's from. So you may follow me around, but you're going to think I'm from Michigan when I'm really not. So, you know, that used to always be, I used to have to defend that against on my board all the time because we were spending, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a small company on advertising. And, you know, it's hard to track that. And people try and it's tough, but you know, I'll try and see what we come up with. I can tell you 50 years ago, I worked at a marketing research company in college where I had to try to take people through page by page through Aviation Weekly to tell me about each ad. And I had the highest number of completions, and it only maybe took 12 people through the whole magazine page by page. So, you know, it's always been hard to quantify. It's hard to quantify advertising, but I will see what we can do on these. I will definitely check them out.
Thinking along the lines of, if the gallery group has, in 2024, had 5,000 followers on whatever platform you're talking about, and
Yeah.
by 2026, they have 22,000 followers.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a positive trend.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, it's 504.
Okay.
I don't know what it was before, I don't, it was like, when I ran the
Yeah.
Instagram for about a year, it's probably about 300, so we probably got about 200 in the last 3 years.
So I just think like, when you see growth and things like that, that usually says, or helps us say, well, that was money well spent.
Yeah.
Getting the word out and for year around marketing, not just the event, because that's how you do your year round marketing is putting out content all the time. So,
And you know, maybe you have an easy link to going to make it easy for people to follow. Like on your media, your favorite media.
and I completely understand, you know, you have different layers of demographics of client base that, you know, some don't even know what Instagram is, and some only follow that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've tried logging onto my Instagram for like the second time in like 6 months. So I'm not, yeah, I was only trying to find out what we were doing with the gallery. So I mean, you know, I just don't, you know, I mean, I'm not even on Facebook that much. So I mean, it's just the way we
I mean, it
can.
takes a level of attraction too, so it's not like.
Hate to show my age, but it's there.
All right, anybody have any other questions for Joe? Think we've hit all three then? All right, we're a little over schedule, but, I think we're good.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Well, again, I thank you all for the job that you guys do. I know it's a thankless job, but thank you very much. I think as a you know, a big supporter of Cannon Beach. I'm glad you guys are there doing what you're doing. So thank you on behalf of the people and the businesses here in Cannon Beach.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you.
Everybody else is in person.
As far as I know, everybody else is in person, and I just texted Tracy just to see like, hey, you can.
And she's like, that's a complete application, and it's. Yeah.
Just to be on the same page with everyone, today was mostly to hear from everybody and not discuss thoughts and all that. That stuff with the next meeting.
Well, we can ask questions.
Yeah, get interaction, not like us debating, talking about it.
Oh, yeah, it's not the next meeting?
That's fine, to make sure we're all the same.
It's Monday, correct?
What?
Is that right, Jennifer? It's Monday, right? Yeah, and is that when we're gonna do the numbers and all that stuff?
Yeah, I was working on the agenda today, right before this meeting, just confirming that Jody's gonna be there. So on Monday, we are going to look over the recommendations.
Okay.
So you guys have your spreadsheet. There was a hard copy with your packets. There's an electronic copy. So everybody's gonna discuss what they wanna do for numbers. Just so you know, for the people that this is their first time, you don't have to stick to that number. So a lot of times you put a number down and then as people discuss, you might say, oh, I wanna go higher or I wanna go lower. So it's a very dynamic process. And at the end, we all discuss what you have, like, this year, well, the last few years, you guys have more funds available than you have past. But that doesn't mean you have to award everybody the full amount if you don't want to. So it's up to your guys' discretion. So you'll wanna come to the meeting with your numbers filled out, and then we kind of go around and we get everyone's numbers, we plug it into a spreadsheet, we see where we're at, we discuss it. And it's just a dialogue process. At the end, you'll make a motion once you've decided what numbers you want, and we'll say, I move to, you know, take these recommendations to council, and then council's the one that has the final decision on it. So a great example is last year, the TAP group recommended funding the chamber event video, and council said, no, we're not going to. So council does have the final say so they can make tweaks if they want. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
How long do we have scheduled for that meeting?
I have 9 minutes, was that?
Yeah, I've got it down for an hour, it might be enough for this.
It's up to you guys, it's however long. you guys
Do we have the room for a while?
I think I scheduled, let me see, I think I typically schedule.
Yeah, I just put noon in there to block it out, but I have an idea.
But that was an average, I would find it longer, but sometimes it does take longer.
So I have the room, I booked the room for 2 hours for every meeting, but there's nobody scheduled after us. If you guys think that we wanna go a little bit longer, the only other items on the agenda are, from the last meeting, we wanted to talk about tax deadlines. And then the, art survey discussion, wherever we're at on that. So, I mean, this could go quick. It could go.
Yeah, just sometimes it goes a little longer, because we get into. the
Yeah, it
Sometimes
really
Goes
just kind of depends on how it goes.
Can you remind me that, didn't we make up a rule trying to keep from rigging the numbers as happened in the past? Could we not go over the ask? Wasn't there?
Yes, we don't go over the ask.
Okay.
You can't give more than the ask.
Okay, gotcha.
So that was, one of the things that they decided on, they've asked their ask. You know,
Okay, gotcha. I thought that was a rule that we made up after somebody rigged the numbers.
What? Do tell.
Yeah.
and Tracy is on her way.
Yeah, does anyone have a spare pen as I'm sitting there with a very thin Sharpie and I'm like.
There, we brought one.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Well, I have a Sharpie, it's a Sharpie. Oh, yeah. Pen, but it's. Well, stinkier than I thought, but I never was something. Thanks a lot. Well, I feel like turn it. Okay. That was just a little more appealing than I thought it would be.
So just a couple other, I'll give you a couple other updates that I was gonna give you on Monday anyways. As I put in the email, each applicant was asked to discuss the percentage of funding from TAP versus other funding. And I did talk to Jody, we can, when we're going to the evaluation process for the final evaluations, we can ask individual people to bring back additional information. She said that is fine. I did let her know that we're gonna look at changing our evaluation sheet for the final versus the midterm, because it is a different process, and so we'll be doing that the next go around. But she said, during your final interviews, if you have a question hanging out there and you say, hey, we want some more clarification, she said that's perfectly fine. So we can ask them additional things, ask them to follow up.
Cause that's what I did last year with the videos, and he came back next week.
Did we do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was,
Yeah, she said
Yeah.
that's fine, not a problem.
Yeah.
And I told her for the interview process, we asked everyone the exact same question, so nobody was being asked, you know, as far as additional materials being provided. I just told her, hey, we sent an email out saying, hey, please come prepared with this number for your interview. Yeah.
You're talking about the speech for me,
Yeah, Joe,
Yeah,
I just ran everything past her.
okay. Yeah.
So we got people $50 off for their gas fee for every minute they're late.
Go straight into your pocket.
I just want to get out of here on time.
And then here's the table. It's very first.
Once you started.
That happened to Tom,
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
we got stuck by Oak last week, yeah.
Yeah.
In there.
It's also really hard to find parking right now, and I was weird this morning. I was down for the day. One of the other one day was check out rate for readers.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, Jennifer, I didn't hear, but I think the council passed the resolution to adopt the
Yep, they
policy.
did, they adopted it on the last week meeting, no changes, nothing. So we now have an official adopted park policy.
Alright,
So there, I think it might be on the website now, we have a section for resolutions and ordinances, so it should be up there on the website now, once it gets signed, we scan it, put it up there, so you guys officially have a public art policy. Good work.
Okay, so now we need to put it in practice.
And us.
I said on City Hall. Inside or outside?
Are they still gonna do tours? For us and council?
Well, not all the councilors ended up doing tours, so it just kind of fizzled on that one. But. Sorry, just catching up on a couple notes for the minutes, we still, I think now, because that didn't quite turn out the way we thought, probably, let me get a hold of Doran, our super. And just see, you know, can we come and just do individual tours, because we don't wanna do it as a public meeting yet,
Yeah.
still, but it is far more put together than it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll talk to Rusty and Doran and see, like, hey, can we have a week where we just bring a person? You know, I can give you guys a couple dates during a week, and we can get people in there for tours. Bruce was working on the art hanging system, so that way you can put, it's something, I think he talked about it last month, about what he did before in Florida, where different galleries hung art.
Oh, yes.
And so they're getting a system installed, or they're looking at getting a system installed, and then we would then have an agreement that you have with the art gallery that says, hey, you know, these are basically the parameters of what we're looking for, this is the size. And then we can have rotating art come in and out. So I have a rough draft from the attorney, we haven't actually gone for
Each time. They took the big mobile thing down there and it's like, oh, they get close, cause the.
Yeah, the trailer's gone, so now he's running inside the garage in there, it's exciting.
So exciting, it looks pretty. Hey, how are you? I'm good, how are you? I'm good. The same way.
All right, we're busy. We are. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, back to it, so if you're following along like fine, we were on page 200 of 225 on our packet. And the get lit gathering for readers.
Yeah, so we, are gonna do it again, we have talked about the possibility of not doing it this year, but we have so many new people that we're sad to have just found the event and really want us to do it again. Well, part of the reason we kind of talked about not doing it, was because it's been harder to get offers. And with Terry being now living in Washington, it's just been a little more tricky for us getting together and trying to solidify all those offers, but, they're pretty confident that, we're gonna be able to do it. We've talked to some of the other authors that we've had in the past, and they're willing to help us out and to, recommend this event to them. And so, yeah, so we're gonna shoot for it. And pretty much all the same details, I already have a sort of plan on hold for us. I haven't signed a contract, obviously, because I said we need to make sure that we're funding for it. Cause that's our biggest expense, but we're also going to move the dates to the weekend before what we did this year. We ran into conflicts with birthday. So we had a lot of people who were, they said that they weren't really able to do both, even though the only thing that really overlapped was the parade. And then some of the welcome home puffins and things like that, so. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, it was a good turnout, I'm still getting, I mean, I submitted my final evaluation, but I'm still getting, the people turning in evaluations, so, it's not complete. And then I did just get, some stats from advertising, today, so, I learned that, I think we did a lot better. So I was trying to figure out why we were getting new people, and we, advertised in Seattle Met, I think that helped, and then, I don't have it in front of me, but, Portland Mercury, She's the one that just sent the stats today, and it looks like we had some pretty good views on the advertising we did. I'll probably cut out shelf awareness again. I cut them out last time, but they said they had some other avenues that were they thought they would hold a bigger reach. I'm not sure it's good, to be honest. Sometimes it's really hard to tell where we're getting people from. So yeah.
So, said you were having trouble getting artists with our authors, what's the issue?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
Part of the problem is that they are used to getting more money than what we pay them to come. And then when we sort of tell them what they do get for it, they are more inclined, one, just then, being able to spend a week in a meeting shots, and number one thing that they say, and then we, give them a room at the surf camp, we do give them a nice room, we provide all their meals pretty much Friday through Sunday, except, for lunch, they leave on Sunday. So there's more than just the $1,000 that we're paying them, but like two of our authors were going on a book tour, actually immediately following our last event, and so they were gonna decline, and also they didn't know, when you're actually talking to authors, you're often going, to their, what are they called? Not producers, but, their management, yeah, and, yeah, they're editors basically, or whatever, and they're the ones that are the gatekeepers, and so they are like, well, she won't come for anything less than $7,000. And then, it's trying to get around them to be able to tell the author, like, this is what's going on, and then once the author finds out, they're oftentimes like, oh yeah, well, don't worry about it, we'll do it for you guys. And then, just with the book tours happening, a lot of times the publishers don't want those released. So we actually got special permission to release, the 2 books from the 2 authors this year. They weren't available yet, and we were able to sell them in our event, so it was a pretty big deal. And it was a big deal that those authors decided that it was important enough to them to come actually to this event, so. And then, they talk to other authors. I mean, that's how we get our authors sometimes, and normally, oftentimes when I'm talking to the publisher, I said, well, why don't you show, so-and-so author, our list of authors who have been to this event, because it's not just these are big name authors for the most part, so it's not just, I think sometimes they're a little concerned, that it's just a little event with, people who aren't really, anyway. That's what I would say.
Are there other events like this in other communities?
What's that?
Are there other events like this in other communities?
There's not, except I did just, as far as I understood, but, I did just hear that there is an event like this in Spokane. And it's actually put on by one of our authors who used to do this. And then one of our authors this year, Eileen Garland's from Hood River, and they have done it once before. And she said she didn't know why they stopped doing it. Probably because of money. We don't get this grant. There's just no other way to do it. And so that's probably the issue with other communities trying to do it, honestly. So. But as far as I know, the Spokane is the only other. And then Portland, does their big book event, because that's where we got the idea to do the lit crawl. And then we got cease and desist, to use that term. Unless we paid for it, and we were like, no, we're not. So that's that is we're small in the sense that we are not writers. We don't really host writing workshops. I've mentioned this before. That's something that Terry and Judy have set those guidelines, and they didn't really want it to be writing. It's really about the readers and the authors coming together. So that's also what makes it a little bit unique. It also may led to people not coming because they're not getting instructions, you know, how to publish their first novel, which is what a lot of people are doing. Yeah.
How many, tickets do you usually sell for that, and is there like a limit on? how many
So
people?
this has always been part of it this year. We stayed about the same this year. But the surf band venue requires that we provide them with our guarantees, almost a month in advance. And as you know, with events, you have a last minute people who are like, yeah, I just heard about it, right, and that happens a lot, especially because advertising around here, like this weekend, they only contacted us like a week before. And so that information doesn't get out and so I have to sort of say like, how many people do I think I'm going to get? So I have 50 tickets, you know, sold right now. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna sell at least 10 to 20 more, you know, around 70, and so then I guarantee 70. And then, you know, then I'm just kind of at the mercy of, you know, do we put up food, can I add people? I did end up selling out, that anybody that I had extra, and I did add, extra, counts as well to the dinner. So on average, I would say 75 to 80.
Okay. Just train the whole to buy tickets when they're out, that would be a nice world to live in, I hate that.
I know, yeah, and I've tried to work with them, they've been, you know, luckily this year was the first year mostly that I've had consistent staff. And that's why I think I went well, because we find out, how the event works, and she did let me add, like I said, a few more, but I did have to tell a couple people that it was sold out.
So are they telling you specifically what part of the equation is requiring for 1 month in advance?
Well, supposedly it's because they need to order, they need to shut, needs to order catering. Yeah, and catering, which
That seems,
they're a restaurant,
yeah.
listen, my brain is always like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, and you know, their food is quite expensive, I mean, you can see in the bill, I mean, just for a quick example, I always add a green salad to the menu, because we have vegetarians and vegans and blah, blah, blah. And, this year when I was looking at it, it was literally $12 per person to have something. So at 70 tickets, an additional $12 on top of the like 65 that I'm already paying per person. I thought it was a typo, I call it like $12 for a green salad, like per person.
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I was like, cut the green salad.
Yeah. That's what I assumed it was, but
Yeah,
that's,
yeah,
I mean.
and I know
10-day to 12-week.
we always look at, you know, I'm always asked about doing it somewhere else. We do it somewhere else, we do it somewhere else, but it really, honestly, that is where it works the best. I mean, you don't lose people because you have the view, you know what I mean? I think that the authors are staying right there. It's easily access to different hotels that people can stay in, that people can walk to. Easily, you know, they can access downtown by walking, and so it's just, that's sort of been where we are, and it's, you know, we wanna keep it. I mean, I really wanna, like cut down on the food, and we've tried to do that before as far as what we serve, but we get a lot of complaints, and people are like, I'd rather spend a little bit more on a ticket, and which we did, we raised the price, and we'll raise it again this year.
Do the offices is done paying the surf stand? Do the offices is done paying the surf stand? Is that fair enough?
No, they don't, in fact, sorry, they stay at Stephanie, already done. But, it's just really nice for them, because the venue's right there, and they are, so, But no, it's not just something that we, it was kind of in the contract originally. To be able to use the space, so we wanted to give them rooms, use the space, without rooms and all. And all that, and so that was sort of how this just sort of worked out.
Great. Great questions, Tracy?
All I understand was really,
Understood.
and I guess I would probably be a good at this point. I'm about 5 minutes to finding everything right now.
We won't hold you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Exchange of discussion here, talking around board exactly on
And so next on the agenda. This for the history center. Easter.
Oh, thank you. Perfect, thank you. That is the nice of course. That's part of it.
Liz, can I get home because there's a yes, oh, yes, I brought coffee. That's for the last time when I first said, oh, yes, yeah, so actually, Maria Sushi was, she passed last year, so we did that and we were told on last year. So I thought it'd be nice memorial, so, yeah, that's just, a map, that's just a, kind of visual of the map that we can do for the tour goers. I thought it'd be nice. Let me save the date for this year's, so you can kind of see what we did. Obviously, we're planning for 5 versions.
Was this last year's?
Yeah, that was last year, Matt. We used to do a really dingy one, so we upgraded. We do work with a really nice designer from Maine, their Island Studios. We gives a great nonprofit field. And keeps us within our budget and does a really great job. And yeah, everybody raved about it. Yeah, we used to do like, was really. The matches were like this, they're really hard to read, and they were awful. So we really upgraded it and we get everybody compliments us and like that, so. We also do, we also do an insert in the map as well, we do it out on the town experience. Which gives people opportunity to go to the businesses and get discounts to local businesses, which give people the opportunity to experience the downtown area and other businesses, so they're not just going to the cottage tour, they're going and checking out the local businesses and which we think that really helps, you know, county as well, so. For now, that's the visual aspect, I don't know if anybody, I'm assuming some of you have gone on the cottage tour.
Yeah, the first time this year.
Yeah, oh, you went to the
Yeah.
last one?
I don't know,
Are you going to-
or this past year, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
first time was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yes, like the past, well, actually, this year again, we had no complaints at all. Which for like 400 or 500 people, that's pretty amazing. So I feel like we've got the hang of it and we've got it down to science, so. I feel like we know what we're doing. So, and next year we're going in our 24th year. So in 2028 will be 25 years, which is amazing. We're pretty proud of that. And I feel like for staffing too, running these operations, we do feel like I don't know how we do it sometimes, but we do it. Manage all of that. Really, we do a pretty good job at that. And, we do, like, say the date, I design all of that. The map I don't design, but, some of the marketing I do, but I try to utilize, some of the design advertisers that they have, that they offer to design the ad. I take that because it saves our time. So that really helps us out, saves our staff time, especially with the budget, it saves a lot of our time. I think that helps us out a lot, so, helps us manage that, and so I would say, like, rather than hiring outside event coordinators, we would be able to save a lot of money that way, and plus, we know the community, we know the homeowners, we know the people, and I feel like we just know that it's really, I feel like it's really helped the cottage tour succeed in that way, and, the last couple of years, we've been, the assistance league that runs the Home and Chef Tour has reached out to us multiple times to ask us how we've been so successful in the cottage tour. They asked us, how do we get so many people that go on the cottage tour? Like, how are you getting 400 people? Well, this is how we do it. And well, we don't have that much money. We don't have that, we don't get that, that much money. And so I feel like with the support of, the TAP grant and marketing, that allows us to do that outreach, because they can only do, posters and like Facebook advertising. They only get like 100 to 200 people that go on their Home and Chef tour. So I think their tour was last Saturday, they just had their Home and Chef tour. And that's about it. And so, yeah, they got, how many people get on there? We got just over, like, for our tour last year, we got just over, like, close to 500, not quite. I know I talked to some business owners and they struggled last year, with their, like, visitors. And so even to, like, the number of visitors we had, so, that kind of, that can impact the number of people we have on the tour. So we didn't hit the figures we did the previous year. But we still did good with our fundraiser. We didn't, like, that didn't impact us.
700, I want to say, or was it 800?
No, we didn't. I think we were like, oh, well, just for the tour, we were over 500, but altogether, like, when we factor in like the Friday night and the Sunday night, our Sunday day, it's like over 600 or something. So just for the tour last year, I think we were over the 400. I can't remember the numbers, but it was 450 plus. And that's just for the tour. But I can't really figure something off the top of my head. But, like, our Friday night is always very successful. We have tons of people in the museum. Like, that is always a hit. We'll continue to do that. We've been asked, will you change your location? No, because that brings people in the museum, shows that it's supporting the museum. And people love going in there and seeing the work that we're doing. And it's just, it works. If it isn't broke, then fix it. We'll take, we switch it up a little bit, but it continues to be very successful. And yeah, I think we have it down to a science. We just know our timeline works really well. It just, yeah, we switch things a little bit. But other than that, everything, the budget's always been consistent, and yeah, everything continues to be, even with like operational costs continuing to rise, we continue to remain consistent in things that we do, and things just continue, we're not really changing that aspect, so.
Besides our grant funding, are you receiving funding for grants elsewhere?
We don't receive any other grant funding, but we do receive, sponsor, we have good sponsorships. Yeah, we have a lot of, like, local sponsorships. We tend to receive a lot of new sponsorships. Last year we received several new sponsorships from different businesses that were, had heard about us. We were, restoration company that sponsored us. I think it's in there. The registration. Yes. Actually, the reservation.
Oh,
No, they were a new sponsor last year. And so, yeah, we continue to, get new sponsors, either each year or every couple of years. But we continue, the consistency of sponsors, is every year we get the same, either the same sponsors or we continue to build on that. And so the support is, the support is very consistent. And, we usually always count on that. It's very strong, so, and the community is very supportive of it, the neighbors are always very, they say that we're very respectful too, we have, very good feedback from that, we try to be very good, we have a good partnership with Suzanne Elise, they do a shuttle for us, we have a partnership with them, we're doing a shuttle every year for us. So that will ease congestion with parking, so that way, we have a lot of people going to work. And, they complain. This is so bad walking to work, but they don't like to walk. And so we try to make it as comfortable as possible for people, and so we really try to elevate the experience, and so. They've been great, we've been working with them for a couple of years, and so we'll continue to do that regardless of where the houses are located at, if there's close proximity or not. So we'll use them this year and the following years. So, yeah, we just continue to elevate it each year and find new ways. So,
Do you keep track of where people come from to visit the museum?
yes, so they can only purchase tickets through us, no other channel, so we track.
Not the event, the actual museum, where people are coming in
Yes.
throughout the year to visit the museum.
We do, yeah, so we have a visitor log, and we have that, so everybody that, comes in, we ask them to, sign in. And we have a sign-in sheet, and we ask them, we have on that sheet, we ask how they heard about us, and so we track that. And then, so that's how we track,
And roughly what percentage of people are from out of the area?
oh, it's a pretty high percentage, I would say probably, I mean, over 60% at least. We have a lot of local, we have a lot of locals, members that are locals that bring in, like their families, so I would say that, but I would say predominantly over 60% of people coming, would come in, or over 60% for sure.
And you're pretty, firm on. Advertising numbers. I know that. Sorry. I'm a broken record.
No, I love it. I'm ready. I haven't really walked here since the.
Damn it. Reputation precedes me.
Used
I
to be
know.
5, so.
Yes. Very impressive, it's going down.
So, I know, that's our biggest advertiser, it's our most expensive advertising, of course, it's our most consistent as far as our return on investment, because we get a lot of, that's where a lot of our, people come from. And it's only quarter page ad, most expensive, but they also give us a lot of, extra with it, like this year, they're giving us like an extra $500 worth of placements.
Is it digital as well as?
They gave us extra digital, and one year they gave us, what was it, our ad, the magazine that we were in, they put us in like, what was it, one of the airlines? There was like 100,000 of our magazine ad was in one of the airlines, and so, and then they give us, lots of email interest too, so we get a lot of return on our investment for that. And when we ask people how they heard about us too, Sunset Magazine, and then they give us a nonprofit rate, so they cut our ad, rate in half, like, they give us like $800 or $600 off of, and they've never in 10 years, have never raised our rate. Yeah, they're going to give us.
So I'm ignoring Sunset for the moment.
Oh, yeah, if they raise probably like,
Yeah, that's on
that one.
Are you getting responses from and also Trevor Morgan, and we feel like those are.
That one's pretty good. I would say the ones that
we get the best results from Sunset, Seattle Times, Seattle Times for sure. We get a lot of the King County, Washington people. Just get one. Portland Monthly, we get the Oregonian, those are like our top, the best one, and then Post Weekend, we see a good response. And then our radio advertising, all classical, we started advertising with them, because it's great, I mean, that's really inexpensive advertising. And we get a great response from that, and they also send us their ad, and it's really good, it sounds really good. But we hear a great response from that, because a lot of people listen to, that age group is the age group that comes to.
It's our demographic.
Yes, actually, it's the age group that comes.
I'm assuming it's mostly 65 and.
Yeah, but of course we want, we're looking for younger people to come, but we want everybody to come experience it. But that was the one question. I always looking for it, I want everybody to experience it. That's the people that's first.
As long as it's still working for you, you know, I'm gonna ask the
Yeah,
question.
that's
That's
fine, the people that.
Yeah.
That's the people that come here to the tour, that's what they like. I like home tours, I'm not 65. In my 40s, so. But the t-shirt.
Can you explain how the History Center, how you, gather information for outreach? I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is, do you have a contact list that is not advertising, that is that you control, that you can send out to members or?
Yeah, it's like, how do we do our?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, so, we use for like email, we use MailChimp,
Yeah,
because it's free, so we have, like our membership database, we have a cottage tour, database, visitor
that's
database.
exciting.
Yeah, so that's how we do, and we have like a very high, open rate for that, which is really, I can't remember what the open rate is for that, but we have a huge, pretty high open rate for that. Our, social media is pretty high, following for that with over 11,000, on Facebook, almost 4,000 on Instagram, and, high engagement for those. Those work pretty well for us.
And the reason I asked that is after 24 years, 23 years now, I would assume you've amassed a very large contact list.
We have, for cottage tour, we capture, when we get our orders online, we capture that, and we put it in our email list. And we send those out, we send those emails out, and then we also send save the dates, and we send those out by mail. So we send those out once we get those, once I finish those, I send all those out to our mail, our membership and our cottage tour mailing list. Cause we capture their, when they purchase their tickets, we get their mailing address, unless they say do not mail.
Right.
Then I take it off. I obviously won't, I respect that.
That's one of the reasons why Sunset Magazine was sort of worth it.
Well, that's, yeah. and then
You kept saying, is
We did have, there was quite a few that were like, oh, crap, bring it.
Oh, and what I'm getting at is you spend $16,000 in advertising, 17 almost. And at some point you have all that information, but it's the net new. And how do you correlate that? And if you look at your ticket sales, 75% of them are from people that come maybe not years before, 10 years ago, and people that you were contacting, not Sunset contacting.
Right, so we do have a lot of return, we have quite a few repeat visitors that have come, I mean, I say lots of them year after year after year after year. So we're trying to get those new people, but yeah, we do get their mailing address, send those mailers out, and then as soon as tickets go on sale, we do another one. We send out a mailer for our membership in our cottage tour database. And that works pretty well for us. And so as soon as tickets go on sale July 1st, and then we have a set price for that, September 1st, raise the price, and the day of, the prices go up again. And people take advantage of that. And
It probably is worth looking at, like you said, the net new is 2 people from Sunset Magazine, even though we've gotten 150 over the last 20 years. At what point is it just like you're hitting the same people over and over again, and then you pull back on the advertising because honestly, that's not good people coming. And I don't know if you know that by looking at the people that Sunset is sending you, can you say, you know what, maybe we've hit everybody?
That's true, and that could be worth looking at. That's absolutely a good point. I think that's worth looking at.
Yeah, the way that I look at it is that if you have your personal history center database of 25,000, whatever it is, and you're seeing that the people that buy tickets is 85% of the people are on that list, well, then maybe the advertising isn't doing as much as it used to, because you're a pretty mature event. And what I see when we have what, 11 different entities going, or events going through today, and almost every single one of them has the Oregon and Seattle Times listed on there. So
Yeah.
if we add up all that money, Cannon Beach is getting a lot of money for advertising, just segmented out. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it's a lot of money, so we have to be aware
Oh,
of that.
absolutely.
Then I'm gonna take it one step further and is. Your marketing, your existing customer base is aging out of Sunset Magazine. Then are you looking at taking those dollars and? I mean, Tracy sat here and said she's using Portland Mercury. Are you trying to get into some more all younger, tap into that to grow that through?
Yeah, we could
That's-
get a new.
Sunset Magazine's actually geared towards younger people too.
Yes, I'm not saying that's not,
Don't have to defend Sunset.
I'm not saying that.
Right?
What?
You said that last week, that's what you found out about.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
like, 7 years ago before I moved here, anytime I like, oh, I'm gonna look up whatever.
Yes.
The cottage tour would come up, and then I had the subscription to Sunset Magazine.
True.
It's cool,
I
man.
think it's worth looking at.
I mean, I'm not saying Mercury specific, but
No.
But it's also maybe a sales point to not do Sunset, cause I am here.
Structuring the marketing plan though. That's a good point.
It's probably just worth looking at,
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
sure that you're not, if we're only getting like one or two. I mean, but the first time I asked you this question, when it was $5,000, you were like, no, and I remember you told me the number that came from on that year, and it's like, oh, okay. It was a lot, and it's like, okay, well. But yeah, you're getting on to the 25th year, and it's like, maybe it doesn't make sense, I don't know, it's worth looking.
That's also thinking about like the future value of an ad, not just necessarily the cottage tour.
Yeah.
Like it'd be the future value of like somebody seeing it and going like, okay, like I saw it at the cottage tour, oh, maybe I'll check that place out.
it's I mean, I just kind of go like the yarn problem in Portland. I did it 1 year with a friend. I'm not a huge knitter, but it was kind of an interesting experience and. I'm gonna say, I would think females are a majority of, I mean, based on what I've experienced. But that was a really young demographic that was doing the yarn crawl in Portland. I don't know who they use for advertising. I know I'm on their email list now for going there once, but I just, different avenues to tap
It's
in.
predominantly older ladies.
Yeah,
Sometimes those couple of others
yeah,
will go.
I don't know.
They have a pretty good following too on the Instagrams. They do their
We
job.
have a court,
Yeah.
we have a court group.
Yeah.
Are you doing the big house, house with the big?
Oh, I'm trying to get the, yeah, see the,
You got the
my
contract.
mother passed a couple years ago, so, Carolyn, she was the mother of the like, well, there's many families that own it, multiple families.
No, we're talking about a different house, the one that's just
Oh,
after my store with the huge rock,
Oh,
remember? Two gay guys on?
yeah, see, I lost her phone number, I didn't get it from you.
Oh, okay, I will get it to you,
Okay,
get that right.
Oh, I know.
cause I reached out to them, I never heard
Okay, all right,
back, I lost her phone number.
They said whenever the lights on, just knock on the door.
All right, any other questions? Liz? Thank you. All right, thank you.
I'll give 2 seconds.
We'll give you 1 second. We're with the TBA.
Oh, no. Take that.
Oh, that's.
Nobody's hungry, right? For now.
Okay, so, all right, so as we know, the arts are a huge, oh, I'm Summer, this is Lila, our treasurer, and I'm the gallery director. And we're representing Cannon Beach Arts Association. And we have a little spiel that I read for you. All right, so the arts are a huge part of our town's identity. Visitors come here not only for the beach, but for the experience of a town that feels vibrant year round. During the off season, arts programming plays an important role in sustaining activity in town and encouraging visitation. From October to April, we host rotating exhibitions approximately every 5 weeks. Artist receptions, workshops, artist pop-ups, and educational programming. We also offer individual artist grants, scholarships to students, and summer art camp annually. In the last shoulder season, we had 115 artists participate in exhibitions. 81 artists receive compensation for sales, and we estimate we see over 7,000 gallery visits during the off season. Many of our artists travel from more than 50 miles away, often making multiple trips throughout the exhibition cycle by delivering artwork, attending receptions, and returning for pickup. These visits frequently include overnight stays, dining, shopping, and additional forms of activity. Our workshops, receptions, and special events also create reasons for visitors to plan trips during the quieter months. The funding we're requesting is $35,742, which represents about 35% of our off-season programming budget. This support is essential to sustaining our programs. Without it, we risk reducing programming, which would limit opportunities for artists and weaken the vitality of the arts in our town. We are requesting a 2% increase from our ask from last year due to a decline in artwork sales, which we correlate to buyers becoming more cautious with discretionary spending amid, geopolitical uncertainty. This funding is not simply supporting a gallery, but the creative identity that distinguishes Cannon Beach.
Thank you.
And if I could just add that the discretionary income that people don't have has made a significant impact on our sales. We still have the vibrant artists coming in, but our sales are down significantly, which is why you see an increase in our budget. And the only other thing I'd say as a board member, not as a director, is that one of our goals is to maintain our staffing and pay people at a level that they can afford to live here. And so we try to, make that possible through our association. As you know, the only way to reduce costs is personnel in the end. And we don't want to do that.
Okay. I like that sentiment.
Yeah.
I read somewhere in your application about one of the thoughts of the decrease in foot traffic was due to the Bald Eagle Cafe not being open at the same time, and can you explain how that works? I know you're both in the same building, that's all I really know.
Yeah, so Tom and Lori, who we love, they take Monday, Tuesday off, and then they do reset, because everything's fresh and they bake, so they take Friday off, so they've got time to shop in between. But with them being closed Friday, the draw, we're in Midtown, so it's a little bit more of a hike. And so people grabbing coffee at the same time visiting the gallery really helps our foot traffic. So.
And they're in their 70s now, and they're not interested in working
More.
more. So we tried selling our own coffee, but it doesn't.
We have a Keurig, and we thought that would help people feel more cozy visiting the gallery, but.
But you can still be open with their clothes, it's just the draw isn't there, and,
Yeah, I mean, that's where I get my coffee, obviously, I'm right across the street, and I can't tell you how many people I get the coffee and I'm and wander through the gallery and it's like, yeah, when they said they were gonna close Fridays, I thought, oh no. Well, for personal reasons and. But I get it.
I appreciate the fact that you asked for. Like 45,722. Did you miss the 59 cents? Everybody else rounds off, you know, like the even zeros, so I appreciate that.
Well, it's a calculation, because basically you can see when you look at the budget, the column to the far right are the things that we consider to be operating expenses during the exhibition period. So it's not everything. And then we take a proportion of that based upon the number of months in the off season. So that's why it gets so specific.
Right? Any other questions?
We should have a popular workshop for the bee, was a bee, this game. What's Just joking.
We actually weren't having workshops for a while because there's quite a bit of workshop competition. But the person who does our, summer art camp is really good at workshop organizing, so we added that to her portfolio. And we're able to offer workshops again, and, they've been popular, so that's a good thing.
Are there any other ideas that you have that could draw more people in? I mean, it seems like you're very dependent on Bald Eagle in a lot of ways for foot traffic.
We've contemplated, and you know, we're open to ideas, but we've contemplated some kind of fundraising like the Country Store. You know, it's a renowned event, everybody knows about it. They come year after year, and we actually thought about doing an art crawl, kind of yard crawl, yeah, where people, because a lot of people in Cannon Beach have some beautiful art. And, you know, to go into homes and have people show off their art. But we decided it would be too competitive with the cottage tour, and so we gave up that idea as a fundraiser. And, so any ideas that you have, we would be really happy to entertain.
Yeah, we're celebrating 40 years in October. We don't really want to establish a fundraiser like Puts or Couch Tour. We want to build something really cool that we can do annually. For that, but we're thinking about it like a scavenger hunt. We met with a consultant about it, so we're just putting some ideas together.
Okay, any other questions?
All right. Yeah.
Is it good or bad that you don't have?
It's always good.
Good. I think you did a great job with this application. It spells things out very nicely. It's easy to understand, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
well, no, I used to be the grant writer for the Arts Association before summer. And I've taught her everything I know, and now she does it all. So. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
very much.
Feels like it was actually like the funding store.
Yeah.
In my head.
You're on, Brian.
Three of us.
Cool.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'm sure.
My neighbors should hear. One thing that didn't make it into our packet, and I'd like to point that out right now, is our statement, let's see here, here's. My agenda used. Being like. That you only made 5 copies, so maybe.
We can share.
Share.
Yeah, on my own channel.
You don't need one for the record.
Big guys do that. So.
Yeah. Just to, being that the date had moved out. And so, we just came in late, so this is.
Yeah.
There we go, I got one extra copy. You guys are running late. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot of friends.
Yes. Yeah, no worries, thank you, Greg, appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. How's the day been going so far?
Good. We're a
Getting through it?
little bit about 15 minutes behind schedule, that's good.
That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good.
All right, so just for the record, we have the early parent network here and it's on page 124 if you're doing the packet of 225. Or some people have the paper packet in front of them as well. All right.
But we want to do it.
Oh. You know. For some reason, I thought she already went by.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you all for interviewing us. My name is Brian Taylor. I reside here in Cannon Beach, 256 Snowtown Lawn. So community baby shower is a project that Ethel and Jess have actually done now for 3 years. And it is, and feel free to jump in anytime. It is an opportunity for young parents in our community to come together and to get the parenting, prenatal, educational piece that we're trying to do in our community, right, to help build it up. This started with, I went to a school board convention, I go to every year, and one of the breakout rooms was a group at Young Hall School District, and they were having trouble getting kids to their school. And so they said they started doing a baby shower, and what that is inviting more people into the school, more parents felt comfortable bringing their kids in. And it allowed the school to actually grow in student population. Which, you know, having a more educated, well-rounded community also helps bring up the workforce. And being able to be here. There's a lot more to this baby shower than just, you know, it's not like a job fair, where we come in and set a bunch of tables, everybody that walks around, it's more of a led event where they would go through each process of the child care piece. You know, Kestrel has a lot more information on that.
You want me to jump in?
Yeah, please jump in.
So, it's a free event, it's bilingual, we have event navigators, postpartum navigators who greet the families when they arrive at the event. And then they help them understand what resources are available, and if they're Spanish speaking, they remain with them throughout the event and guide them through and introduce them to folks. This last baby shower had 34 community partner organizations involved. We work closely with both hospitals, with the health department, the WIC program, and we're celebrating families, it's fun, there's gifts, we make everybody sing to the babies.
Invite everyone to.
And we invite everybody to sing.
Really long with children, like a lot of young parents don't know how to speak to their children or reach to their children, and we tell them, well, here's another tool. And so we try to infuse all these different tools for families to use in ways that they might not have thought about it before, and then that was an idea that Crystal came up with, but it's really powerful. Yeah.
Supporting that early relational health, and it's a way of providing parenting education that's slipped in and just part of being together. Let's see what's another.
So one thing that I was thinking about is our, child's first teacher training. So for us to help these parents with those little parenting pieces to help teach their child, you know, for me being on the school board, you know, I want, you know, personally, I wanna see some higher test scores, right? Because we're pretty low in Oregon overall, and CSAT's pretty low in general. So us teaching our students earlier, right, helps them reach and helps them do all those social emotional pieces earlier too. You know, but meeting Kestrel and Jess and how passionate they are about all the other pieces around it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a pretty amazing event that is going to take place.
And it really reaches the full economic spectrum. We have all different communities represented and are focusing on supporting people get access to the resources they need, whether it's infant feeding or mental health support or
Library, like getting access to childhood books, you know, everyone in Classic County, for the most part, is eligible to receive books monthly from Valley Farms Library, but not everyone knows about it, and early literacy is so important, so making sure parents know what actually exists and give them the tools to plug right in.
And then the other piece of this is really helping all the agencies and organizations that are supporting families get more connected to each other. So that we are a strong parental health system supporting families. And that said, I think it's important to recognize that with the labor and delivery services at Providence closing, families in this region have less resources available and are facing greater struggles. And when we think about people wanting to move to Clatsop Town, this is something that comes into play no matter where, you know, whether they're where they're at in the workforce spectrum.
So a question for you, are you familiar with the rules we have to work by in terms of public funding? And I'm happy to share that with you if you don't.
This is something that has just come to light, and I know that, when I filled this grant out,
Yeah.
that I wasn't, this is the first one I had seen. And then I noticed that the Parks grant was there too, which I know there's a lot more criteria in this one, but I'd love that, Greg, if you could.
So our funds are bucket of money that we get from the city, and we are just stewards of that, going it out, and the city council has the ultimate say, is derived from overnight visitors who stay here and pay a lodging tax, whether it be short-term rental or a hotel. And that portion of money has restrictions on how it can be used. And so it has to be used either on a structure or a physical structure, like an event center, a community, Seaside use funds their convention center using that kind of money. We got away with, I shouldn't say got away with. We were able to invest a few $100,000 into the public restrooms in Midtown, because it was pretty evident that is used by the visitor economy or visitors, not locals. But we can't hire police officers, we can't fix the roads, we can't do things with that money because it is restricted. And reading through your application, there's a lot of things there that, like, I don't know how we would justify that. But the city grants aren't restricted. And that is something that would be probably the most aligned with what you're trying to achieve here, which sounds like a great thing. I think we as a committee would have a difficult time trying to justify how this, I mentioned structures, the other part of the motion of events and things that bring visitors in, because the idea is to regenerate that revenue through that. So that's what we're bound by. So when we sit down and talk about, hey, it's a great thing that you're doing for young families, for young, you know, in the community, and what we want to do. We can't put money towards it because of how it looks. And even if we try, then the city attorney would probably say, hey, that's not what you're.
Right.
And then the city council would say they can't do it because you can't get it. So we just want to make sure you.
Right, and so just as a thought, it wouldn't be for building the workforce as far as the people, right? Investing in the people that work at the hotels that help the tourism piece. right? That wouldn't be anything in the thought process that would.
My guess is the attorney would say it's a bridge too far.
Yeah,
Okay,
really,
okay.
we would have
Yeah.
a discussion with the attorney about it. I mean, I see your point.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the question is building that social emotional piece with our workforce as opposed to, I mean, building structures and bringing, that's how we make money. I'm all for bringing people to town, making money, 100%. But also building the type of people that we want in our community. So I mean, that's kind of.
Yeah.
That, like I said, maybe a bridge too far, but, I'm just grateful to sit in front of you guys and get this idea out.
I love the
And
idea.
let people, right, let people hear the idea, and if there's, like you said, city grant, the other city grant, the parks grant, right?
Yeah.
And, if anybody has any other ideas that we can go and find some money for, we'd be, we're all ears. We're-
Make the babies, make the public art installation.
I'm all for. So, but I mean, other than that, I know Greg, did you have any questions for us? And, besides the truth?
No, it's okay. It's saying, I don't want to discourage you, I mean,
No.
these things are, I don't even know when the city grants come and go. What the schedule is on them.
Well, the last one, it was in April, yeah, when I was dropping this off, I actually saw a need, and she's like, why don't you apply for our grant? I was like, I didn't know it was in April, so, so we have, I'm collecting a list of. Opportunities for us,
So
so,
I think Seaside just announced theirs for this fiscal year as well, because they all kind of have things.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, remember ours is it's next April or. So. But,
okay, all right.
I mean, the event itself is important, Yeah, it's just.
All right, well, thank you guys so much.
I leave some flyers, are you guys interested in?
They have a copy, yeah, I'd give them all the.
I got all that.
All the-
Perfect, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Shut that.
and you were.
I come to your house, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm not smelling it.
I.
Jen?
Yeah.
Working on it.
Danielle.
She is.
Seventy, 30 split. You can have one money, but it's already very high. They're restricted.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on, if you are doing electronically, we're on page 26, 225. Yes. There's, yeah.
Are we doing fat tire for?
Fat bike. Everybody does, because it's the beer. Well, it was the big shop on my screen. Here.
And, Daniela, who runs the event, will be online to help talk about it all. We have a nice event video to show you.
You wanna start the video?
Let's get Daniela on first, I'd rather have. Okay, are you there, Daniela?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
So Daniela, Carter is Oregon Rising Events. They've been helping us run this fat tire bike event since 2018. They're an incredible resource in the biking community, which really helped us get this off the ground and get it going. And she's a wealth of knowledge. They run this event very efficiently and I just love working with them. So I'll kind of turn it over to Daniela and let her talk all about it. One thing I would like to point out is that bike is actually this weekend. So this year's event actually happened quite yet. And we're already looking forward to next year. So Daniela?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll be in Cannon Beach Thursday, or else I would have come today in person. So I apologize for that. I'll be there all weekend though. We're really excited about this year. We have got, I think we're ahead of schedule as far as all of our registrations have gone since 2018. We've got 61 current tickets, and of course, still days more to sell. And bike people are always late in buying things. So I'm sure we're going to see those tickets going out the door. A third of them are return visitors, and about half of those have come every year since 2018. They make this kind of like their annual pilgrimage. One kind of fun little side note is that 3 of our riders who have attended the event since the very first year are riding their bikes right now on what they're calling the Tour de Fat Bike Festival, 530 miles from Washington to Cannon Beach. And they're documenting social media the whole way, promoting like why they're doing this, how much they love the festival, when they're going to end in Cannon Beach, and then they're going to keep like doing live videos while they're there. So really fun. So when we talk about people coming from 50 plus miles, well, they're riding 530 miles to come. So it's pretty awesome. We definitely see a big majority of our people, and obviously we'll have those figures for you next week, coming from more than 50 miles away. A lot of Washingtonians come to this event. And right now we are tracking, we've got about 27 of those people saying they've booked hotels. 23 are in vacation rentals, and we'll definitely have like zip codes and all that information for you then. But the festival, it starts Friday night, and we do a sunset beach ride. We've got a welcome event at Public Coast Brewing. On Saturday, we've got a packed day. We send everyone out on 3 different adventure tours. One is the Foodie Quest, so it's like, you know, beverages and food options. The other is the Treat Yourself, so that's like going to all the different, you know, specialty shops. And then the third is the Art and Soul ride. So we've got them all over on their bikes, visiting businesses, spending money. Then we've got new this year, a brewery tour on Saturday with the brewer at Public Coast Brewing. And then we've got our big ride that we do from Tolovana to Hug Point. And then our big beach party that happens with Pelican Brewing. And then on Sunday this year, we added something new because we have found that our demographics have changed, which I think is really heartwarming. We're seeing a lot more adaptive people joining the event, which is so nice to see. We've had people come on their quad trikes. Well, not trikes, sorry, quad, which is like 4-wheel fat bikes. That man was a Vietnam veteran. We've got a gal who comes every year with her big fat tire trike. She's got some disabilities, and this ride is totally accessible for all of those people. So that we're seeing an older crowd joining us. They've got the fat tire e-bikes. We've worked really hard with state parks over the years to get the regulations so that we're allowed on the beach. And so being more inclusive has been a huge thing. I mean, when we started this event in 2018, we didn't have a single e-bike, which is the electric bikes for those that aren't familiar. And now the majority are people on e-bikes, and whether it's age or disability or just because they enjoy them, we're definitely seeing a more inclusive event. So that's been phenomenal. And I think word's getting out in adaptive communities that this is a very friendly event for them. So on Sunday, we are doing, for the first time this year, a sips and stroll on Sunday afternoon. So now we've got people hopefully arriving Thursday, staying through Monday. So we're just trying to like keep it coming, keep them coming for longer, because once they're there, they're just having the best time. So those are my main things. If you've got questions for me, I'm happy to answer as well.
Jim, did you ever move to a tiered ticketing system for early purchases versus late? I know you said you tend to be more weather dependent,
I don't
but
believe we did that.
okay.
But we can certainly incorporate that.
It seems in other events, and I'm not saying they line up like yours, but Cottage Tour implemented a $5 premium for last minute, and they seem to have had somewhat weather dependent in that time frame, but I'm just trying to figure out, and not just you, but how we get numbers in earlier on. As I see, it looks like you're ahead of the game as far as, this year, but our goal, the goal seems to be 150 every year, and I'm like, how are we starting to get that? And
Also there's a t-shirt and it says sold out on here, but for your tickets, and it says sold out, and, I'm wondering. I've seen the t-shirts.
Well, that was part of the registration and ticketing for the attendees. Am I correct on that, Danielle?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
The only reason we had that sold out is because we had to print the shirts. So we did order extras, but we couldn't keep getting custom orders, up to this week and guarantee that it would be like, we have several 4XL sizes. So we had to cut like the pre-order of t-shirts at a certain point so we could get them printed and bring them to the event with us.
So there are t-shirts?
Yes, there will be t-shirts we ordered some extras to have on hand as well.
Maybe that's the idea, to get people to register earlier, is register by N to guarantee that you'll get a t-shirt. I don't know, just something to think about to tier it a little bit better, because I believe I talked last year to you, Danielle, about, is there any way to make this more or less weather dependent? Since we do this up and down the coast and on the east side, is there any way we can make it so it's like, hey, you're gonna come even if it's raining, because hey, it's Oregon? I don't know. I don't know if you have any more ideas about how to make this less weather dependent.
Well, I mean, the only year we ever had an issue with like massive weather was the year that like a huge storm blew in, and like the police actually found us and told us we could not have our tent up on the beach because it was going to fly away. So, but we still made the party happen. Like we still, everybody, the Fat Bike people are just fun, and they're just there to have such a great time. So we do whatever we can. So we do bring a giant circus tent. And so we can be under that, and we bring a propane fire pit, all part of our permit. And so, we try and do those things. I mean, if it was absolutely pouring, although Saturday afternoon is looking good, so we're pretty fingers crossed, but we're Oregonians, and all of our events are rain or shine. But yeah, a couple of our things are indoors, like the welcome party Friday night, the brewery tour, but the big ride to Hug Point, that's just, people love it, and I think they're going to do it no matter what.
As far as shirts go, I can kind of address that, because we do this for Sandcastle. We want to make sure that every participant gets the size that they need, but you still have to order those and get them in time for the event, which is what I think Danielle mentions. You always order enough extra to help cover what you think you'll need, but then you don't know the size. And so that becomes the issue. And I think we've learned from Sandcastle over all the years we've been doing it, that if you order too much, then you have a lot left over, and you don't want to just have inventory sitting on the shelf. So it's good to try to manage that as close as you can to the exact possible.
On the registration form, are you asking what size of t-shirt they need?
Yeah, the goal is to get everybody what they need.
On the application, number 12, number 13 are not answered. And then the checklist is complete. I mean, there's no checklist at all. Okay.
Oh, the checklist is,
Oh, but I mean, the last few pages of the application are not completed.
Well, 12 is answered, but 13 is,
Oh, sorry, 13.
Answer that.
And yeah, there was no checklist.
Oh. Here's, I got it in my file. Sitting next to my file, I do have the checklist, and I did go through and double check it. But when I scanned it in, I didn't include it as part of the packet.
That is from last year too. I just feel like it's incomplete if there's no checklist. I mean, every single other has none, so.
As far as question 13, when we submitted this, clear back in 2018, our goal was to move this and not be coming to TAC forever for funding. Of course, we had COVID and all those things that have led to that. One of the things that Danielle and I have talked about a little bit about looking forward for next year is implementing sponsorships and looking for how to implement that. The chambers looked at Sandcastle, Stormy Weather, the Haystack Holidays, and revamped how we do sponsorships. And I want to sit down with Danielle after we've been and start to incorporate that in for next year. So I think next year we'll have that as part of that, so we can start weaning away from coming to TAC for the funding that we have. How many years on the take? Maybe one, maybe 10, I think that's a good goal for us to have in chambers running up events, and Danielle, excellent at running events, so it's just a matter of implementing that and putting it to work.
And one comment that I put out there is, you know, I'm a fan of this event. It is somewhat done by weather a little bit, like we were just talking about, but not really. I mean, that'd be pretty bad. But to me, it feels like it has no limitation on size and scale. I mean, there were literally as many people as you put on the beach, there were counting bid, could possibly do this. And so to get above that, I think you said 150 this year is the idea for. That's not for this weekend, that's for this 27, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you anticipate for this weekend?
Danielle might be better able to answer that.
I'm really hoping that we are gonna be between that 80 and 100 this weekend. One thing that, again, when we first started, it was all bikes that were just pedal power. That was it.
Yeah.
Now we have people on e-scooters. Like that was never even a thought, but it's called the basically Fat Tire Festival, Fat Bike Festival, whatever you can pedal on the beach. So now we're seeing the biggest variety. Like, I mean, I owned a bike shop for 20 years. I've never seen this variety of things, and it's very surprising. We also connected this year with Ian from Fun Cycles, and so he's going to be bringing his Fun Cycles out on Saturday at the beach party to be involved with like the fun and games that we put on. So by expanding the types of bikes that are allowed, and part of that is state parks has loosened up on their regulations as to what's allowed. Thank goodness, that was a huge thing. Like we don't have to put flags on every bike this year. You know, they're starting to, I mean, e-bikes are taking over. So it's just kind of, you got to go with it. So we're now able to expand that reach even more. So with that, you know, I mean, the sky's the limit. And especially if we can start promoting a lot more of the adaptive people coming, that's just huge.
So I guess my point there was more towards the 27 application, not the final for 26. Be interested to see that growth. You're saying 150, but with the e-bike, just around time, the same people that are bringing bikes with them wherever they go has taken off tremendously. I mean, in my business, I have to store it for people now because I don't want them taking them into the roads, knocking over nightstands and things like that. So we're actually creating storage for bikes because there's so many people coming with them. I guess my point there was one, I'd like to see how much you can scale, because for that question number 13, I don't think it will ever be self-sufficient paying whatever the ticket price is unless you have scale. Yeah. You know, you'll keep coming back like a lot of these events do. So that scale is important. And then, and I might be outing myself for not paying attention, but, I don't know if you have done any, I'll call it like media kit, promotion this year. So like, do you reach out to businesses and say, put this on your Instagram, put this on your mailing list? Because like the Hallmark has 27,000 followers on there, if they make a post about that tire. You know, the search engine has like a gajillion too, and if all of those are promoting it for you, does it help with the scale? And so one question, do you do that? And two, maybe think about it.
I mean, Dan, that could be helpful in almost any event.
Pretty, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, wow.
And so, because collectively as a community, I mean, every business wants to have people come here, so you should be sending it out to your, you know, most people who might not be your demographic exactly, but, let's, you know, all like that. But, you know, some businesses have like a team of people, and some people it's the proprietor who's doing it. So when the event comes and says, here, not a floppy disk anymore, but whatever, here's all this stuff, you know, use this however you do on your Insta or your Facebook or your TikTok or your whatever you do. It's much easier as a proprietor of a business, if someone is handing it to you, you know, wrapped up in a bow and like, here you go, put it out there, you don't have to do it every fall.
We have done those in the past, and I think we can certainly implement that going
And
forward.
I do remember it in the past, but like this year, I was like, I think we just have a 8.5 by 11 on the cork board in the office. I haven't seen any of that, and I just quickly Googled for that, to the thing that you all mentioned, and the Hallmark did do something. And, you know, it has hundreds of likes and views, so that's great.
Just one other thing, I noticed that Reach the Beach is also this weekend, it goes to Seaside, the other big bike event. I'm just wondering if maybe having them both on the same weekend limits, if that limits anything, or I don't know if it makes it better or worse, I don't know. But they do have Reach the Beach this weekend too.
Pretty different
just-
demographics on those events. Yeah, very different. Reach the Beach. I mean, maybe in the beginning of the event, we had a lot more like serious cyclists, but now it's definitely more of the RV crowd, you know, retired people, with the fat tire bikes with the throttles on them. So a different crowd that Reach the Beach for sure. Yeah, hotel stays that I imagine you probably get overflow from Reach the Beach into Cannon Beach. So our event, not unfortunately, but it just is what it is. We have to go with tides because of the big ride to Hug. So like we're already, I've got the tide schedule for 2027 and we're looking at dates for that. But yeah, Reach the Beach. I don't know if they're on a set weekend every year, but we could definitely look at that.
I've noticed there's not any local posters or anything this year. What?
Those will be going out this week.
And then there's no post on your Instagram either. So you might wanna think about doing that, and you guys have a good following.
Did you do a Facebook post?
Well, I know Danielle's been doing some, but I would talk to Laura and find out what we've done for them.
Because I usually try to share those.
Yeah.
It's not really my demographic for this event, but the other ones I try to share.
I know it's not like, we're not trying to gel to locals or, I'm just, like I said.
Well, I'm.
It's this weekend, it's
My Facebook followers would not be local, they would be, I mean, I have some, but it's all about getting people to do it, but it's not a
Yeah.
demographic.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not
But
getting that much. Necessarily, but anyway.
Yeah, we have a lot of ads out on Facebook and Instagram that are like targeting our demographics from where they're coming from, and like, you know, we've continued to broaden that as we're seeing all the different people coming to the event. And I believe Experience Cannon Beach has been sharing those. I know ACFA has been sharing some as well. And so that's kind of what we've been doing on our end, and newsletters out to like 20,000 people. So that's some of the marketing attempts we've been working on.
Are you targeting or not posting? Because there's nothing on Experience Cannon Beach.
Danielle has been creating those and we've been sharing them. So I would have to check with my team to see what we've shared.
We have 12, almost 13,000 followers, it feels like. I mean, maybe I'm just not catching it because I live here, but I just don't see anything.
I can follow up with that for sure and see what the scoop is on that.
All right, any other questions?
Did you wanna?
Shall we show the video?
Oh, yeah.
An extra 2 minutes. 11 seconds.
Good.
Where is this new? Is this a new video?
Video.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
Is this a new video? Where has it been shared?
That is the video that was taken last year, and is it on the website, Jim? I don't control the website, so I'm not sure where that is, but we've been sharing that with like our people that have attended the event. And let me pull that up. Did that not have sound, or was that just me? I'm sorry.
We had that.
You did. Okay. I couldn't hear it on my end. I'm not sure exactly where the chamber has shared it. Jim, do you know?
I'm pretty sure we have it on the website. You know, I delegate that to the team to get that. Anyway.
All right, hopefully you have a successful weekend this weekend. Sure, yeah,
Looking forward to it.
yeah, weather's looking good.
Probably big part.
Okay, so any other questions on that? Jim has the next spot too as well.
Yep.
All right. And we'll shift gears.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got it.
I'm a little delayed.
There's a little bit of a modification to this one, so. Why don't you, after we sat with our marketing committee, go over the details of this. They had some recommendations, so we wanted to implement those, and we can talk about it as we go.
It doesn't look like it's on experience for the chamber side,
Okay.
just so you know.
It will be. It is not.
On the website, yeah, I was just looking on Facebook.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
So this is Nan Devlin. She is our new marketing consultant that's helping our marketing committee develop the next plan for the 2 years that we're gonna present to the city. And as we look back at the Clarity Place and some of the things that we want to do and implement for that marketing plan, it became clear that we're stepping up to do more in the stewardship area. It's been asked from the committee or from the council. It's part of the Clarity Place that we want to do stewardship. You guys have already, the council's already doing health promotion type stuff, and this kind of leans into that. But on a bigger and broader scale. I wasn't sure until I sat with Julie to kind of get an idea of what TAC is moving towards in this next phase of what you guys are doing. So this was really a step in that direction, I think. The big, I'll let Andrew do whatever you like. After we sat down with our marketing committee and reviewed the TAC that I had proposed and sent in, the timing was, our meeting was after the deadline to turn it in. The first question I said is, that's a big ask. And we agreed. And when Nan and the committee, we all got together and talked about it, that can really be a 2-year act. This could be a 2-year program, and to do the work well, I think, leans into a 2-year program. So that's why we came back and did the revised page to go along with this, so you guys could consider that as well.
Yeah, and the first year is really making very solid the messaging development, getting things ready for signage in the second year. But in the first year, there's going to be a lot of collaboration between city, public works, police, fire departments, Oregon Parks and Rec, Fish and Wildlife, to make sure that we're getting the right messaging together for stewardship. You know, I want to make sure that everything is being addressed, and then we can take all that information and put it into a campaign, an educational campaign for our visitors. And social media will result at the end of this year, again, the first year, to get a lot of website content. The messaging will be out among media groups and throughout the city, and we'll have a QR code that can go straight to the website, and then we'll talk about all the stewardship issues that we're concerned about and the citizens are concerned about here. That can be done in this first year. And then we take that information and we create signage. And it's mostly interpretive type signage, like fire week learning about the Roosevelt, why are they important? Why is beach safety important? All those kind of things that can show the story about why we want our visitors care as much as our locals care about stewardship. And the signage, second year, will be signage that can stand up to a coastal environment and graffiti. And have a service that graffiti can be. Yeah, so, there's a lot of work to be done in this first year and a lot of collaboration. But in the end, it'll be, I think what the county would like and its residents.
Any questions?
Yes, you have one. And I don't know the answer to it, so that's why I'm asking. Do we find QR codes successful?
Yes. Actually,
Okay.
and they were kind of dying out before COVID,
Yeah,
and then during COVID, they blossomed.
yeah, with the menus and all that stuff.
For instance, I did a QR code in Rockaway Beach
Okay,
that, put them in hotel rooms, we put them on all the businesses. And it directed right to the visitRockawayBeach.org website,
okay.
and that turned out to be the #1 channel that people went to that website.
Okay.
Whereas before, it was going above Google even for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't understand the answer to question 12, and the checklist is not in the same entity, so it's in.
Yeah.
What?
Not quite PDF.
I don't understand this answer. The design graphically appealing story comes with educational engaging, or that artists will be inspired to create works of similar imagery. Writers may develop complementary books or graphic novels, paintings, speech to QR codes. I don't understand QR codes so the stewardship thing is signs that are, it's a thin application, is what I'm saying, and I don't understand what. So you're talking about signage and putting QR codes and telling people to like pick up after the dogs, et cetera. But then what are people inspired by?
By the whole stewardship messaging. That's what I'm hoping for.
What, I don't understand what that means.
So, let's say Salted Raven creates a new T-shirt that has something about, stewardship or the birth of the something like that. That someone might write a book about all the things that are cared about here in this town. And it will be aligned with stewardship messaging.
So it's a hypothetical thing that might happen.
Oh, I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping people will be inspired.
Sure, okay.
But are we saying then you're gonna? That if they do I'm trying to figure out. Card course, if that makes sense, like, we're leading with the stewardship message, so we're hoping that the artists or stores are going to. Piggyback onto that, but does then that get tied back in? Does it end with them or does it loop it back around?
Well, I would hope that once this is up and messages are starting to go out the first year.
Yeah.
And then the signage comes up the second year, that there will be, inspiration to write stories about it.
Okay.
And did you answer this question, or did Jim? Was this your verbiage underneath this question of number 12? Well, the signage will be designed with graphically appealing storytelling and educational engaging content. It does sound like you. So I would say that this is because it's event driven. This question is there for tell us how you're gonna enhance the arts, because we're the tourism and arts committee. We are not just doing art. So Nan is doing this not in understanding the background of all of what we've done with this committee. And not all of it is based on art. So I would say this has been written by someone who doesn't understand the history of this, of the tourism and arts. Committee. Does that make sense? I understand what you're asking, because it does seem like, now what? Because this is.
It sounds like AI.
Honestly,
it sounds like AI.
No, I think, that's why I said, if Jim wrote this, Jim knows the history, Nan does not, and so
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like-
she's
it
like,
sounds like-
well, I guess I would hope that people will take this message and do stuff with it. she's just not understanding the background of this and that it was event focused and it used to be tourism and arts and we're not limited to arts. As we know from previous asks.
It kind of goes back to what I let out of this. This is a little bit off what the history
Right.
of this
Yeah.
attack was. And even I'm not sure where you guys stand on how that's going forward. So, but we didn't wanna
Yeah.
wait to do this till later.
Yeah, and I will admit, that was a tough question.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
Given what, you know, this project is about, but I thought it's nice, artists and writers were inspired, so, yeah.
When I read it, I thought, oh, I bet you this was Nan. And I bet she was like, wow, this is gonna be really hard to answer. You know?
Kind of walking through, you know. This is the chamber coming saying, hey, we were gonna promote this stewardship, sustainability messaging. But in some of in the application it said the city questioned it. And I haven't gone to the full city council meeting, but how did that happen?
Well, over the past, year and a half, I mean, even going back to Clarity in Place where we asked the community what we want, what can we be doing moving forward. Stewardship for our community, stewardship for our wildlife, stewardship for Haystack Rock, the beaches has all been a part of it. And a lot of the questions that I faced from council over that same time was like, we don't see this, where is it at, what's happening? We do messaging and stewardship messaging, we have elk and rabbits and all the different things and how to deal with those in a safe manner. But getting that message out, a lot of our messaging is directed outward to visitors to try to get them to come here. And in doing that, we're trying to educate them on how to behave when they get here. This is more directed to enhance all of that. And to make it a real mission of our efforts to not only try to set the stage for when they come, but when they're here, to reinforce that message that this is how you should behave here. This is the things that you need to be watching out for. Don't walk up on that. All those things, be respectful if you for and this is what our community expected. And so we tie all that with getting that message to them before they show up, reinforcing it while they're here, and just making it part of the culture of our community. And we'll hope that our visitors join in on that. This is really what we're trying to make this a full stewardship messaging program to get everybody on board.
Yeah, so Travel Oregon has like a stewardship program with grants and all those kinds of things, is there any involvement there? With this effort?
That'll be another place to help grow this program and looking at what grants are out there and are available for us to do that.
And kind of tie on to that is, I guess, are there other communities that you see doing something like this that are successful and can be used as a benchmark, or like, this is how you want to do it?
I did this project in several cities in Tillamook County. And I did this part of a larger wayfinding program, a countywide wayfinding program. And each city or area, could be unincorporated as well, determined what kind of messaging they wanted. And always they included stewardship. Always included stewardship. And so if it can take a whole wayfinding program in an entire one town can be about 18 months long. From messaging to content development, to design to fabrication and installation. It can be a long way. And approval process is all the way. But it has been successful there.
Thank you.
Hey. Has the city been brought, you're saying they're requesting stewardship and all that, and yes, I would say they're on board on that. The part two, the signage development. Are they on board with, do we know if they're on board with actual physical signage? And the reason I ask that is in some instances, we seem pro signage, in other instances, we seem not to be pro signage. If we're looking at this as a whole, I don't know how much discussion or talk or them being
I can't
on
imagine.
this journey.
I mean, this has been such a thing for the last, no more signs, no more signs, no more signs.
And that's where I go. Part one. And I'm saying there are things that I would love to have signs about.
Well,
But does that make sense? I mean, I'm going part one, I see everyone being on board. I'm not saying not everyone is on part two, but I don't know how involved everyone has been in.
I'm trying to understand like what you mean by signage, so and when I read the application, I was thinking like signs that don't write yet. You know, things like that, kind of common sense, but like I think when Nan first started talking, kind of pitching what this is, I think all of a sudden I started thinking more about like the signs around the lagoons or up at the end of Second Street that tell the story of why you're standing here. You know,
Yes.
that Sacagawea was right there 200 years ago.
Yes.
And the whole story, and that's why we take care of it and love like a local and all those kind of things. So if it's more that way,
Like at the school and I mean, if we park wide, I don't know,
Yeah,
trail type stuff.
yeah, the kind of things that
Yeah.
you read that are educating you about why you're here, why it's important, you know, and so forth, as opposed to don't litter.
Yeah.
So concept, we don't even know who we're.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to, that's kind of, I'm like,
Yeah,
no, it's
I'm-
more, I don't
yeah.
understand why it is.
So the signs that are here about that have been done by an artist, what I'm hearing is more like. There's gonna be signs with QR codes and we're expecting them to like go and scan it and then it'll take them to a website or a video or something like that that will tell them. What's going on and like how to not litter and how to deal with the elk and all of that stuff. So. I just don't, I don't see how we're gonna expect like the tourists to just be walking around with their phone. The whole time, trying to scan QR codes to educate themselves about the community. And that doesn't really seem to like. Necessarily fit the charter that we're doing, in my opinion, like, I don't know how it's bringing more people in. And I don't know how that has anything to do with art, and it's not necessarily it has to, but, it just sort of seems like. Not really promoting anything, it's not bringing anybody here, does that make sense?
Well, it will educate the people who are here.
Sure.
And that's the purpose.
Are there not resources
Yeah.
already for them to be able to educate themselves at all? Like, do we not have any information on websites or anything that we already have?
I don't know what you're saying, because it's not a heads and beds situation, it's not, I mean. It's just people taking it on themselves to walk around with their phone, and hit QR code with a sign that probably DRB will deny.
When you say you've worked with like Tillamook County. In the application, I was almost hoping I had a visual of
Exactly.
what, like, I assume you've got. Signage or QRs or in what you've done in the past. I would have liked to have seen, like, here's a template we've used in another. Area, this might not fit. Cannon Beach exactly, but that helps me kind of. Lead me down the journey of what we're, because, again. This is something new, it's not something that's been in our wheelhouse. We take, and we need these types of things to come and make us figure out what fits, in that. But, yeah, that's where I'm confused, cause are we looking at wayfinding or are we looking at safety for bonfires, fireworks, trash management? That kind of thing, that's where I'm like, maybe we're a portion of that, but.
I certainly have a lot of examples.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of those too.
Yeah.
And when Jim came to ask me, he's like, does this even fit that? I'm going back to when Bruce said, we should be moving away from the heads and beds, unless it's an event.
Oh, yeah.
And that making it, we can use it for money for things that are going to make it easier to live here as well as so.
Correct.
Well, building trails and all
We
that.
did the
kind of stuff.
restrooms. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly.
Type of thing.
Yes,
Yes.
so I think it
Or
fits
those videos.
that because we're definitely trying to
Yeah.
we're not, you don't need, well, I shouldn't say, you don't need to educate locals. Some
Yes.
locals do some stupid things to
Yes.
help too, but we do, and since Elk was on the
Yeah.
last couple of meetings, I think that's where it sort of came up, it's like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have a
Yeah.
bad situation here someday. So that's why I thought,
Yeah.
since Bruce gave us that guidance, that's why it's like, this could be a TAC thing. Maybe not all, but maybe a portion. It's
Yeah.
definitely not heads and beds. for sure.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate being pushed to think more broadly about it, and trust me, if I didn't have to stop and tell people to be careful and then get dirty looks, it would be,
Rolling of the eyes.
be great. And the, you know, the signage thing, I only asked because yeah, again, I don't know until we go through and then
So,
make recommendations, then can't, you know, it's kind of cart or horse, you know.
Yeah, and I think that just, I think the very first part of this is collaboration with all
Yeah.
different agencies and community to make sure that it's the right thing.
Yeah,
And if the city doesn't want signage, that's not bad on the front, that's if we collaborate on it.
Yeah.
Or collaborate on what it should be. But certainly getting stewardship messaging out to everybody.
Yeah.
Is important, and the question has always been to me, how do we do that? Do that in a good and fashion so that everybody gets the message.
yeah,
And signage makes sense, but maybe there's a better way that we can determine along the process of collaboration and everything.
Yeah, and there's all different types of signage. You can do everything from a four-sided kiosk that's in a park, perhaps, or like a 2x3 interpretive sign that you step up to and read. There's a lot of different kinds. Okay. Yeah.
We have a couple at the beginning of the.
Yeah,
trailer,
that's right, yeah.
Sally, is it Raquel?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that her name? She did those. So they were artist designed as well. I'm sure the messaging went through some sort of process. I don't know. I wasn't here when that happened, but yeah.
And the messaging is important, that it also expresses the value of the community, the value that they have, and what they would like visitors to know about what they care about. And that's usually the purpose of this stewardship. Okay.
And I think that for Monday, we could talk about
Yes.
specifics of this, and I think it's important to get that out now, and that this is very conceptual and something you wanna do, like I'm sitting here, my analytical brain is like, oh, 5 signs, 40 grand, $10,000 a sign, what do we get out of that $10,000? You know, kind of thought, but really, none of that has been vetted out. You know, whether it's elk or trash or whatever, that would, what you're saying is that would come over time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, those answers aren't here today.
We work very closely with the city about where to locate these signs, what they should look like. All of that.
Is there any way to get picture examples prior, I mean, are we allowed to ask prior to Monday's? Our next meeting?
You can ask for additional information. If you have information, you can email me. I can forward it to the commission. They are meeting today at 9 o'clock, so I think it would be one of those, the sooner the better kind of situation.
Those together.
I feel like that would have been in the original application. Yeah.
And that's my fault, because I didn't realize that you could also add additional content to it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I have to think that was all.
Yeah.
Us rounding that around, but this is not all there today, but other communities doing something like that, great.
And I would say the city, I mean, it does tend to be no more signs, but we have a city councilor who thinks more signs should be everywhere, so. I don't know. Signs.
No, and, you know, you're just getting in the weeds, it's not only science, but it's also reaching out to the tech people of the world that wanna read on the phone, so if you, whether it be QR code or geocaching or whatever, or geofencing, that that pushes things out to you, you know, those can be methodologies of doing it as well.
Well, we're kind of stuck on just talking about signs, but it's also goes to videos and then.
Yeah.
And then which,
That's messaging,
How about
platforms,
for all
videos, all that.
and then articles and they just don't really know what they're talking about, it's just way too concepty. And. Again, you didn't know that you could have stuff, but.
And somebody also said something about that there was, I think it was Laura had said that the city had been putting a thing out in the visitor center here about elk and rabbits in particular. I think it was just the elk and rabbits, maybe there was something else, and then they stopped printing them. And it's like, well, maybe that needs to be printed again and in the visitor center about.
There are some available at the city hall.
Are there?
It's the flyer, it's the Don't Feed the Animals flyer.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely have that. And if we need to reprint it, maybe that's a tech thing. I mean, I don't know. But, okay. Great.
You got any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you. And, we're gonna move all those things forward.
Thank you.
Very much.
If we need to get the fat tag sign, or the fat tag signs, and exactly where we're at, I'm sorry.
I'll bring you with the show.
I think we have one, but.
How did you get one?
Good,
I still need to see you.
yeah, I'll find out.
Okay, great.
Good to go, does anybody need a bathroom, right?
Thank you for waiting.
Hey, hi, hello, Tourism and Arts Committee, thank you for your time and consideration and your support. Just to give a quick recap of, the Marches Comedy Festival, was a great success, we sold out both nights. We had a hardly standing room on the Thursday night event at the, you know, there were people that, at, Drew and Brew, where we did satellite event. Despite all, you know, selling our tickets and it was not without its difficulties. We had a very late cancellation of a headliner that got me scrambling. We had, it was the Comedy Festival happened during the TSA difficulties. We had a comedian who said he came as close, that got his flight canceled, came, you know, close to canceling the show as he ever did. He was in Portland, or in Oregon for less than 24 hours coming from New Jersey. It was a heroic feat. He showed up at the beginning of the day of his performance. We pulled the chaise lounge into the back so he could take a quick nap.
He also did a great job. Adventure.
The Friday, I was going in the afternoon to Seaside to pick up concessions and stuff like that. That was during Atmospheric River. There was the flood near the RP. I decided I could not get stuck on the other side of that flood, so I didn't cross. And I worried that that would impede folks coming. That didn't seem to be a big problem. So yeah, behind the scenes, but forward facing, it all worked out. I couldn't be happier. I love that we're able to do this event, bring this art form to Cannon Beach that you don't otherwise see. I like how our audience is growing. We didn't spend any marketing money this year. It was all on earned marketing. Our email list of past attendees continues to, or, you know, ticket buyers continues to grow, as well as comedians sharing it on their social media. You know, and you have people coming specifically for them, you know, they're waiting for autographs or they want to talk about their podcast. And then all the comedians, or many of the comedians are, you know, they're posting promos of the shows, but then they're posting, you know, videos of them on the beach talking, or, you know, I'm at the Cooney Rock, or whatever it is that, you know, is getting us more, organic media. So that's cool. And I suppose that's all I have to overview.
I love not spending money in marketing. So, do you
I know there's probably an ask to do social media from the comedians.
Yes.
There. And I just asked that because I'm curious who, you know.
Yeah, it's an expectation, and then it's pretty much standard operating procedure in their careers, because they kind of have to be their own marketing engine, because, you know, when they, yes, they have managers and stuff like that, but. It's an expectation, it's not written into a
Yeah.
contract.
Okay, well, and if it's industry norm, then it's not. I mean, I just thought I would ask.
That was that thing I was talking about, the future value of like, oh, that's cool, like these
Yeah.
comedians have tons of followers.
Yeah.
And I know I'm obsessed with social media, I'm sorry. Never give up. But.
Yeah, no, it's an important part of it.
I'm amazed at the room nights. I was here on your first ask when Tom Darkler said.
Yeah,
$200.
$285.
Oh my God. He's, I'm sure he's looking down going, whoa, 219 room nights. Who would have guessed? I missed this year, I'm sorry. I've been every year.
I looked at
So. Like someone pointed out, look, you're in the front of people.
Yeah.
It's like, you're right. Talk about that. Yeah, that's
very fun.
Yeah.
I like it with that, this definitely matured over time, the applications like thought out, has everything answered, and I completely, I remember some years previous were just kind of, not as such. So it's great, and the feedback, tremendous in terms of, it's something that people talk about, you just hear it, there's a buzz, and I appreciate it,
And I feel that too, like, it does kind of. It lights up town on you know, on a weekend that one might not otherwise be, or early in March.
Yeah. I wish you'd have one off roughly here.
Yeah.
And I would say too, and not just because they're in the room, I like that I'm so gracious to use the theater, it's such a great space for it, and I like that we can help them earn some money out of it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Andrew about it?
Alright. I thought I should just give a quick follow-up on the Maker's Map. The Arts Colony has agreed to fund that going forward, so you're right, the seed formed into a longer running thing, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and I also should mention, I saw it in the packet, the application packet, I don't remember whose application it was, but you know, when you track the heads and beds number, had people full names on it. And like where they were from, and I wouldn't want to see my name in a, you know. Public document like that, so maybe that
It was, yeah, I know where, I saw that, yes.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That way. But everybody,
Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Patrick Lathrop, and this is Jenny Tronier. Together, we, along with our board of directors, have been managing the Coaster Theater Playhouse since 2013. I'm the executive director, and Jenny is our marketing and operations director. The Coaster Theater is a historic building. It's over 100 years old. Our building was originally the Waves roller skating rink. It's been a performance space since the late 1960s, once featuring an upstart band called Paul Revere and the Raiders. In the early 1970s, it was developed along with the rest of Cannon Beach Village and became the Coaster Theater. In 2027, we'll be celebrating our 55th anniversary. Coaster Theater Playhouse provides plays, musicals, concerts, special events, and theater programs for children. Our season usually consists of 6 main stage shows, 2 to 3 kids performances, and several special events featuring bands and entertainers from Portland and beyond. Last year, we received $50,000, and this year we're asking for funding in the amount of $93,050. These funds are split between marketing and special events. We market to audiences over 50 miles away through various publications, including Canada Beach Magazine, Skies America, Broadway Across America, Our Coast Magazine, and Oregon Coast Visitors Association. The special events we're planning for late 2026 and 2027 are an historical drag show, Darcel and Company featuring Poison Waters is scheduled for September 13th. October 11th, guitarist Aaron Large Kaplan celebrating 250 years of America. November 6th, a married couple on strings and vocals, the Stewart's Duo. And November 8th, on their last tour, New York Voices. In March, we are planning an eclectic blend of soul, rhythm and blues and jazz and Amy Winehouse tribute. May 1st, another couple featuring Americana, folk and acoustic indie rock, the Black Feathers. And May 16th, Curtis Salgado, classic jazz and blues. Funding from the Tourism and Arts Commission allows the Coaster Theater Playhouse to continue the tradition of providing professional and quality entertainment to our Cannon Beach locals, as well as our touring visitors. And we hope you'll consider our request. Any questions?
So the jump from 50,000 to 93.
Yeah, two of the groups, the Amy Winehouse is coming in at about 23,500. That's significantly more than we usually spend. And also the New York Voices is at 19,000. So both of them are the reason for the jump.
Is that Sunday, November 8th for New York Voices, is that Stormy Weather Arts Festival? as well?
Yes, yeah, I have two events for Stormy Weather Arts, Friday and Saturday, and then the Chamber has their event on Saturday. I mean, excuse me, on Friday and Sunday, the Chamber has their event on Saturday.
So I mean, I personally look at that as a good tie-in to keep people longer, so,
Yeah,
See that?
right here, yeah.
and Sunday will be a matinee. 3 p.m. matinee.
Is that Curtis Salgado or no?
No, that's,
The Amy Winehouse.
I was specifically asking on New York Voices being on the same beach as Stormy Weather.
and New York Voices, I don't know if you know, is Lauren Kinnan is in that, who's local.
Really?
My aunt.
Lauren is just here last fall, just doing a feature thing, but she's also part of this well-established group in New York, who tour internationally, and they're on they're closing the band, whatever the right term is.
And they have a big following actually in Oregon. They taught at McMinnville High School for years. They had a very good relationship with the musical director there. And so they would come in once a year and do like a week-long workshop with the kids down there. So they actually do have a huge following from farther out in Oregon.
Yeah, actually, in the old high school's already playing.
Of course, they are.
So all the special events are just one show, one time.
One time, yes. And but we lodge, and we have to lodge for 2 nights because Cannon Beach, has that rule, so. They come in, they're usually on, if it's a Sunday show, they'll come in on Saturday, stay Saturday night, and set up on Sunday, stay Sunday night. So they actually get a little vacation here at the coast, and also. We feed back into the heads and beds, and we're renting hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Through the program.
Are all the Sunday events matinees or
Yes, I believe,
even Curtis Salgado?
yes.
I missed one of them because I couldn't get out of work because we're too busy to hang. Shut up. So I'm glad that they're matinees, but I get it. What do you say? What's the dress sell?
Yeah, happy this Sunday.
Oh, that's Sunday we're talking, that's the plan for that. That's, is that over the cottage store?
Here it is. It's the Sunday of Cottage.
It is.
Yeah, it was the 11th through the 13th.
Oh, they should know that. They should definitely know that, maybe that'll be a reason, another reason to keep people one more night. Yeah, that is the Darcel, I'm not sure there's a big crossing between Darcel and.
I'm not getting too detailed, but what's the, Aaron Margin Kaplan?
He's a guitarist out of Boston, internationally acclaimed. He's been here several times. Was it last year or 2 years ago, we did a Day of the Dead?
But I think it was 2 years
We
ago. Yeah, it was,
did a Day of the Dead, yeah.
And the name's very familiar, it's kind of like,
yeah.
no, I've seen it before.
And he's local to that, he has an Astoria following. His mom actually lives in Astoria and comes down to see shows here.
I think we have another comment, but. In my first meeting, how many years ago, when I said, where is our master calendar? I mean, as a city in general, but as a TAC, if we, and I know a lot of times we don't know until this day, when we get the applications and what weekend you're going to be, but I would love to see, you know, if your slots are open and you know cottage tour is going on, could you game it where they do kind of align up, you know, if you can move pieces around or cottage tour can move pieces.
Or do you want them on, you know, people coming in different weekends too, because ourselves we kind of for not that
Yeah,
one, but
yeah,
it's just interesting. I think that's like,
we could, on our end, fine tune more to be like, okay, here's your, you know, a master calendar. You typically line up with this, you know, group. How do you play off and also use your marketing together to be, you know, while you're here for this, we're also.
Yeah, that's a constant challenge for us.
Yeah.
Inevitably, there's something going on.
Yeah.
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 But again, it's something regular, it'd be great when there's something else going on Sunday, then the chamber can talk about it, and or the calendar can talk about it.
Yeah.
So these are more events that you've had in the past as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like a lot to
Yeah,
last time.
we're constantly trying to increase our special events.
Yeah.
Which is a challenge because that affects rehearsals, you know, and
And our schedule.
and our performance schedule as well, but we recognize what a gift they are to the community, so we try to continue to.
also brings a different audience to the theater as well. Because not everybody who goes to see Darcel or New York Voices or the Amy Winehouse are necessarily going to come and see Moriarty or Bloomsday or Drinking Habits, you know, like that might not be their cup of tea, so it just broadens our.
Yeah, there's a lot of locals actually who I don't see at the shows, but I see them at the special event.
Yeah, it's great to have a place also that is not weather.
Yes.
That's not.
It's not weather dependent. We talk about that a lot.
Okay, all right, any other questions? I just commented, packet well put together, very easy to follow. I actually, you know, I had my own questions in my head, and I'm like, oh, there's the answer. So, good job with that.
And I've seen the little like things that you have just put on. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. Oh, I saw that. I heard people talk about that.
Yeah.
Really wonderful.
All right,
I like the programming this year, this programming people really like this year. I'm not a big speaker person, but just heard a lot of people talk about programming this year. Yay, theater. I love that this is. Gives me anxiety.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for waiting.
Yes, we will see.
Yeah.
All right, we have any good of the order or comments anybody want to put out before we? Yeah, too much, so we're gonna meet on Monday at 9 AM.
accepting stuff after the application thing? Are we then doing that? We're letting them email us stuff?
Oh,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
Not a new application.
Yeah,
And not stuff that's missing necessarily,
yeah.
you know, like not a requirement, but clarification.
Okay.
Like me asking for
Pictures,
stuff or whatever, so that I can have a more complete picture of the house.
That's okay, and that's per the lawyer too.
When
Correct?
we talk about evaluations, asking for clarification information,
Yeah.
but that is a clarification, it's not a you were missing. I want to
Yes.
have to be honest.
Yeah. Well, like last year, we had Jim and Alan come back in and talk to us prior
About
to
their,
our decision.
yeah, so it's the same thing,
Yeah,
additional clarification.
but.
All right, then with that, we'll adjourn the meeting and, give everyone money.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna leave the tables up. So Tom, let's leave everything up, so we've got a meeting tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go double check with Laura that that's okay. We're gonna be back here tonight, so. Leave it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you're on Monday. Monday. Being rich.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if you were here that year. No, I wasn't, I missed that year. Okay, ask it. Let me ask a question. Question.
Can we leave it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Everybody gone. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we're almost there. Ready to move in, we're still finalizing dates. So, before we know it, it'll happen. City, the PD is amazing, so. I went, oh yeah, did you do the tour? I did the tour, but I was under arrest. Oh. Yeah. She was like, oh, hey, like they wouldn't let us just. Yeah. You could have. Yeah. You're fine. Yeah, because the security clearance there. I got it. So yeah, so it was one of those, like, we didn't walk around. In theory, yeah. Because I'm not just going to walk around there. Yeah. It's been long for so now, but it is definitely like, I am more than. I know, I think it's about that, the COVID or the. Yeah. That's bullshit. Yeah. And then people, I want one, I don't want one, but I'm like, if I needed one. Thanks. Hi, stop everything.